washer attachment for you.
All right, yeah. See, I was thinking like a little battery operated one, but she's like, no, we need the big gasoline one.
Oh yeah, get gas. You want?
Listen, the last time I didn't get her a power tool, I didn't get her the table saw, and now we got chicken. So
get her power tools, Joe.
If I don't get her this power washer, I'm gonna come home to a monkey.
Jets are going to dump the puck in to open up the third period. The Blues have 1:15 of power play time to go. Thomas lost it.
Super Chat.
They do. Buchnevich, one-on-one, up ice, in on Pionk, to the middle, shoots it. Hellebuyck, the save. Bye-bye by the Blues forward.
What a play there by Buchnevich. Nice move.
Comes back out to the middle. Barron will dump it in behind the net. The Niederreiter. They go to Velarde. Gabriel Velarde missed the first few games of this series with injury. The Jets have not had a full healthy lineup in any one of these 7 games. Neither have the St. Louis Blues. A puck coming to the neutral zone. Connor's going to get the line. I'll follow near wing. Shot on. Rebound loose, and Binnington with a block from Broberg make the save. Neighbors will pull the puck away. The Jets will hold it in. Binnington will poke it near wing. Falk to the puck on the near side will snap the center. And Shen dumps it down into the Winnipeg zone, but it hits the glass, goes to the crowd. 13:33 to go. On the Blues just kept Winnipeg off the score sheet again. 3-1. St. Louis leads. Back in a moment. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
What's up, Blues fans? Enjoying the game should be easy, so don't overthink it. What to wear? Done. Just toss on your lucky Blues jersey. Don't know what to serve your friends? Easy. Pick up
Thank you, Guy.
Blues up 3-1, 13:33. That is the time remaining if the Blues want to head to the second round and face the Dallas Stars. And what a close call we just saw. The save by Binnington. He pokes that puck free, goes right on the stick of Lowry. Curves, you called it. Broberg right there, Johnny on the spot. He keeps a goal out and keeps us a 2-goal game.
Blues tag up, get the puck down into the offensive zone. 13:19 to go. Hard rim around to the far wing. Blues out shooting the Jets 16-19. Tanev's going to deflect it ahead. Off Appleton, closed down by Falk. Fox it clears it. He knocks it down. Right at Fox's goal at 19:25. As Walker brings it in, gave the Blues a 3-1 lead late in the second period. He's trying to help the Blues get to the next round against his former team and a team he broke into the NHL with, the Dallas Stars. Stars are waiting. And no matter which team wins this game, That series will start on Wednesday in Dallas. Lowry's going to get it up the middle. Nice pass over to Kyle Connor. Connor to the near wing, shoots it, and it gets knocked down. Comes through Iafallo to the near side. Kyrou goes to clear and backhands it up and in. Pionk will go after it. Snapped out of the zone. It's coming out. Fowler gets it back. Fowler doesn't have a point in this game. Something's wrong. That's not nice. That's wrong. You can't say that, Joe.
No, you can say that. We know we're kidding.
All right. Back over to Fowler on the far side. Up the ice it comes. Sundqvist. Over the line. Neighbors makes the play. Puts it in behind the net, and it's coming around to the near side. Falk will get to it. Schen's behind the goal with it. Centered. Just missed Neighbors. And this one's coming out. Broberg goes back to get it. So Joe Zamiro, have we seen them move Sundqvist up?
Yeah, he's went out with Jake Neighbors and Braden Schenn.
Okay.
So it looks like that 70s line is going to excuse himself just briefly here and have Radek Faksa join Joseph and Toropchenko here.
Nice play by Joseph. Ducks underneath the hit. He gets the play to the line. Broberg with a shot. And that goes wide of the net, then hits the boards. Bounced right off that great-looking Budweiser bow tie sign and goes up over the glass and out of play. Maybe one of my favorite all-time logos.
Whoa. Saying a lot right there.
It's so classic.
It is. With the cursive writing there.
The cursive writing, the great color red, the white Budweiser, the bow tie.
Yeah, look at the Winnipeg Jets players. Everyone's staring at the clock now. It's clock staring time if you're the Jets, and they're running out of it. A couple decent looks here for Kyle Connor, and just boy, Binnington just looks so steady right now.
Puck gets down along the wing. Well, unfair to say too, Joe, if you don't mind me adding to that, his team is doing a great job in front of him on second chances.
They're doing a heck of a job. I mean, it's been just a wonderful team effort here.
Barron's over the line, dumps it in. Broberg gets to it. Now to Fleury. Shoots, deflected. Puck into the glove of Binnington. It goes. With a bunch of traffic in front of him.
Well, and the body language is so important to me. When you see him make saves like that right there, I mean, there's four bodies in front of him. He makes a glove save. He just stands up on his feet, curbs. No real emotion. He looks like a statue. Just flips a puck up in his glove, hands it to the linesman, gets a quick little reset. No one's talking to him. No one's tapping the pads. They know this young man is in the zone, and he is.
.11:01 to go. It's a 3-1 Blues lead. Kyrou has had the Blues leading since the 1 minute and 10-second mark of the first period. Parayko and Buchnevich with a great play to get him the puck right on the doorstep. Ehlers on the near side will bring the puck in for Winnipeg, trying to make it a one-goal game late. Unable to clear Buchnevich. Shot comes on, and Binnington will make another save. 10:44 to go. Joseph at 7:16 of the first with an unassisted goal made it 2-0. He got the puck out after he hit Morrissey. Morrissey had to defend. He was clearly injured. And then a long shot from Joseph from the top of the left circle across the mouth of the goal for Hellebuyck, and Joseph made it 2-0. Perfetti with a power play goal, the 11:41 of the second period from Connor and Pionk. Made it 2-1. Kyle Connor with 10 points in the series for Winnipeg. But with 34.1 seconds to go, Faksa from Walker made it 3-1 Blues. That's where we sit. Jets in the Blues zone. Shoot it! Right pad save! Binnington! And the puck to Toropchenko clears the zone.
Yeah, he's going to get tested here now. These shots are coming from the outside, but there is starting to mount up a little bit more traffic.
Parayko off the near side, then off Neighbors, and a poke wide by Kyle Connor. The Jets hold the line. Pionk's shot gets blocked to the near wing. Neighbors is going to go get it. Schenn, Neighbors, and Joseph on the ice right now for the Blues. Neighbors lost his stick. Kyle Connor's going to bring it in. His teammates changing behind him. Shoots it on. Save is made. Binnington there as well. And then Barron's going to run the Blues defenseman into the goaltender, and the Blues calmly stay out of the scrum. Joe, that last defensive zone faceoff for the Blues, you had Robert Thomas out there with Oscar Sundqvist and Alexei Toropchenko.
Well, you're always going to have two centermen out there now. Sundqvist and Thomas were out there. Jim Montgomery is not going to have any trio go out there unless there are two centermen in the defensive zone, just in case anybody gets kicked out. Because remember, Winnipeg has scored a couple faceoff goals in the offensive zone here. 9:57 to go. Blues still up by 2. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Sometimes opportunity doesn't knock, it revs. And when it does, you don't wait, you grab it. Right now at St. Louis Power Sports, the Rev and Ride sales event is here. 1.99% APR financing and rebates up to $1,500 on select CF Moto off-road machines. That means powering through the workday in an all-new 4-seat U-Force 800XL at $12,999. Owning the backcountry in style in the all-new U10 Pro Highland with heat and air conditioning starting at $23,999. Rev it up and ride it home today. Find out more at STLPowersports.com. CF Moto cares about your safety, so read your owner's manual before operating. Ask about rider training. CF Moto, ride without compromise.
Since 1890, Stiefel has been committed to safeguarding the money of others as if it were their own. That means more than just building a portfolio. It means they're invested in you and your future success. It means their advisors are real people, not robots or algorithms. And it means doing what's best for you, not just people like you. Stiefel is one of the oldest firms on Wall Street because they do things the way they should be done. And they've done it that way for over 130 years. Stiefel, where success meets success. Visit Stiefel.com. Stiefel Nicholas & Company, Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Dear hockey fans, score big on the power play with Toyota's lineup of elite vehicles. Go coast to coast with the versatile RAV4 Hybrid, sporty Camry, and sleek Corolla. Or ride with the roomy Grand Highlander and tough-as-nails Tundra, Toyota's stout enforcers. Plus, with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, you'll power through slick conditions. Visit Toyota.com or check out your local Toyota dealership. Toyota, let's go places.
To go. We're in the third. It's a 2-goal lead for the Blues. 3-1, Game 7. Winner takes on the Dallas Stars Wednesday night in Dallas. Blues win the draw. They dump it up ice. Pressure there from Buchnevich. Kyrou on the ice with Buchnevich and Thomas. Sundqvist went to the bench after that face-off win by the Blues. Falk will cut it off in back behind his own net. Now to Broberg. Flips it high off the glass. Bouncing puck to Kyrou. Hits it out into the neutral zone. What a play to Thomas. In over the line. Thomas drags and looks for some support. Now chips it in behind the goal.
Yeah, that was great puck protection by Jordan Kyrou all the way up the ice to find Thomas.
Blues down along the wing. Kyrou wires it from the far wing wide of the net. Suter able to hold it in for the Blues. Just the third shift of the third period for Suter and Nick Leddy. As the Blues shorten their bench a little bit. There have not been a lot of offensive zone faceoffs for the Blues in this period either. Walker over to the far wing. It's rolled in behind the net. Suter coming to the wall. What a jump around Ehlers. Gets the puck. Shoots it off the side of the goal. And Walker after it for the Blues. Letty out high left point to Walker. Walker fires. Shoulders save. Hellebuyck. And the Jets find the rebound. It's the most pressure we've seen by the Blues in the third period here, Joe.
Yeah, led by this fourth line, and I love the way they're putting the fourth line out there with Leddy and Suter. They've spaced out their ice time a little bit, but with as dependable as this fourth line has been, they just don't make a lot of mistakes.
Braden Schen's going to dump it in. Snuggerud and Neighbors, two rookies going in the offensive zone with the grizzled veteran and the great captain of the Blues, Braden Schenn, who might have had the most impactful play of this series with a hit on Mark Scheifele. Followed up by the hit from Foxa, and the Jets haven't seen Scheifele in a game since. A puck dumped in, all the way down, no icing. Snuggerud took a high stick, looked at the ref, and the ref said, "Oh no, young man, not at this point in time." Parayko ties it up inside the blue line, backed up by Neighbors. Comes off the wall, to the far wing it goes. Morgan Barron, 7:41 to go. Morgan Barron goes down, no tripping call.
Yeah, really good non-call right there.
Thomas in, buttons up again, spins it into the corner. Buchnevich trying to go to Kyrou. Pionk cut it off. Buchnevich knocked it back to the wall. Kyrou gets there to hold it in with Falk, and now it's off. Hayden Fleury out of the zone. 7:20 to go. Jets ice the puck, and the Blues with a 3-1 Game 7 lead late here in the third period.
Yeah, I tell you what, you're down by 2. for Winnipeg, they got to find some magic here in the next few minutes. You know, once you start getting into the 3s and the 4s, and then you start getting into bold goaltender situation time, you want to be within striking distance of 1. So these next few minutes are going to be super crucial for St. Louis Curbs. It's got to be everything out, everything in. You got to be so dependable here. You got to be strong on your stick. You got to have the right players on the ice to make the right plays, and that willingness certainly to block the shots as you're starting to see a little bit more offensive zone time here for the Jets.
Blues win the draw. Broberg fakes the shot, changes his angle off the end boards, in behind the net. WTF line. Oh, man! Tarapchenko gets checked from behind by Fleury. There's letting it go, but that one's an interesting one.
Yeah, he came over full speed, too. That was a hard hit.
Up the far wing, bouncing puck. Kept in by Sandberg. They go to the corner, and broken up now by Broberg. Lowry in behind the net, looking for the middle. They go to the far wing. Connor to the blue line. Here's DeMello. Back to the wing. Slap shot. Deflected in wide of the goal to the near wing. Sandberg with a chance. Falk blocked it to the far wing. Kyle Connor back to get it. Feeds to the point. DeMello to Sandberg into traffic. Blocked in front by Falk. Bounces over to Walker. Zone cleared and caught back by Winnipeg. They drop it all the way back into their own end.
Yeah, that's that top line for the Jets. Clearly frustrated. They're throwing everything in the kitchen sink at them right now. Just not much there.
In shooting off of Binnington, and the puck knocked back. Might have hit the post, and it goes back to Velarde. Couldn't jam it in. They get to the near wing. Blues clear off Sundqvist to Neighbors. Jake will skate it to center. Chip it down in, and Oscar going in with that hair flowing out of the back of the helmet. The big Swede makes the play behind the goal. Neighbors to Suter. Suter with a shot, and in front was Joseph. That puck cleared and deflected wide, and now Niederreiter onto it for Winnipeg. 5:40 to go in the third. Each team with 20 shots on goal. 6 in this period for Winnipeg, 4 in the period for the Blues. Thomas up the wing. Off of Thomas, but he missed him, and that's icing. And a faceoff coming back down into the St. Louis Blues zone.
Well, Thomas just misses Kyrou here, and this is where that extra energy and the extra pressure, it can really make or break you. You know, and making simple plays have just got to be made. And that one right there, the passes just kind of go right underneath the blade there. It just misses it. And now another offensive zone shift here for the Jets. Jim Montgomery really shortening the bench right now, using a bit of a blender of some forwards here. And Nick Leddy and Suter still out there off that icing.
Jets shoot it. P up right on. Perfetti cut through. Binnington again. And that puck goes down into the corner. Thomas trying to keep it away from Perfetti. Shields it along the wing. I don't know where it will finish this year. I don't think it'll be in the finalist range. But you will see Robert Thomas and Selke conversations over the next couple of seasons. Jets into the middle. Ehlers shooting it. Binnington, another save, sliding to his right. Back to the left with the glove. He knocked it down. And the Blues will clear the zone.
Boy, I tell you what, he's starting to kind of rob this period, isn't he? That's another great chance there for Winnipeg, but Binnington just strong on his crease, makes a big-time save.
The last 4 times the President's Trophy winning team has gone into a Game 7. They've lost it. The road team, the 8th seed, has won it. Blues deflect the puck in their own end. Foxa with help from Torapchenko. They clear the zone, and Fox is going to flip it into the Winnipeg end. It'll go just wide of the net. Hey, you whistled that before it crossed the goal line, young man. Don't want to get on my bad side before 10 to go, do we?
Yeah, well, I think Scott O'Neill, he got Hellebuyck looking at the bench right now. They're kind of giving him some direction here. I expect to see a goaltender pull here very shortly. Nikolai Ehlers, boy, that chance right there coming across the middle. Binnington makes that save, curves with his left shoulder. That thing is a little bit of a slow motion puck, but it is going to be dribbling in. He barely catches it with that left shoulder pad and keep that one out.
Great face-off win by Foxa. Walker onto the puck. Torapchenko gets it, skates it out of the zone. Jets bring it back the other way, no icing. Binnington stops it behind the net. Fowler with a 3-1 lead. Up the wing. Near wing. Buchnevich drives the goal. Shooting it. He let it go high and wide on the near post. He controls in the far corner. Pushed it around to the near side. Parayko will pinch. Goes down in behind the net. He bounces it over to the far side. Thomas to the line. Fowler in behind the net. And Buchnevich will have it. 3-1 Blues lead. 3:30 to go in Game 7. Parayko, again, his 5th career Game 7. He's won all 4. Blues have 11 players that have played in Game 7s. The puck to the near wing. Parayko onto the puck. Clears it into the Winnipeg zone. DeMello's going to turn. Dude, I'm telling you, let the puck cross the goal line before you whistle it.
Well, and DeMello looked like he was going to reach up for that puck. I thought he could have jumped up and grabbed that thing. Yeah, Jim Montgomery here talking to Falk and Parayko there. Cam Fowler on the ice. How about Matthew Joseph? He's been getting a ton of ice time here in this third period. It looks like the Jets maybe are now going to call a timeout here, Curbs.
I can help you out with that real quick here, Joe. Matthew Joseph in the third period of play. We're talking 3 minutes and 49 seconds. He's up over 12 minutes in this game.
Yeah, I tell you what, he has been really impressive here. And, you know, it's been a player that has come in and out of this series. It's been him and Alexander Texier that have been going back and forth. You know, you go to Jim Montgomery of playing to Matthew Joseph's clearly playoff experience underneath him. But he has looked very sharp here. Like you said, the go-ahead goal at this point, they're going to be leaning on him from the defensive side here. Did a great job killing throughout this series, too. But a very impressive game for him as he comes in after sitting for a couple here. And it's never an easy spot, but he's been a difference maker.
.3:14 to go. Blues with a 3-1 lead over Winnipeg. Draw to the right side of Jordan Binnington. The faceoff will come to his
head goal at this point. They're going to be leaning on him from the defensive side here. Did a great job killing throughout this series, too. But a very impressive game for him as he comes in after sitting for a couple here. And it's never an easy spot, but he's been a difference maker.
.3:14 to go. Blues with a 3-1 lead over Winnipeg. Draw to the right side of Jordan Binnington. The faceoff will come to his glove side. The Blues captain, Braden Shen, will take the faceoff as the Blues try to figure out how they're going to line up. They want Parayko on the wall against Ehlers. In the slot, Neighbors, Joseph, and Fowler. Shen is there as well. Empty net down on the other end. So the Blues try to defend in their own end. Now Parayko will just start to skate. 18 to go. Blues with a 3-1 lead over Winnipeg. Draw to the right side of Jordan Binnington. The faceoff will come to his glove side. The Blues captain, Braden Shen, will take the faceoff as the Blues try to figure out how they're going to line up. They want Parayko on the wall against Ehlers. In the slot, Neighbors, Joseph, and Fowler. Shen is there as well. Empty net down on the other end. So the Blues try to defend in their own end. Now Parayko will just start to skate. I think what the officials are doing is they're making sure after the timeout that the Blues have the right players on the ice because it was
an icing.
Well, actually, no. Yes, I'm sorry, because the offensive team can take a timeout. I apologize. Yeah, my brain's getting ahead of me.
The Jets took a timeout after a Blues icing, but yeah, you're right. They want to verify that it is the right players for the St. Louis Blues that did not leave the ice. And you know what, Curbs? I think they pulled. I know Falk was out on the ice. I don't know if he was coming out for a change or not. Falk was out on the ice, but he may have already just jumped over the boards for a change before they put him back. But he was skating, so I have to look back and see if... Yeah, they're going to throw him down now. They're really going to make sure it would be the Parayko and Fowler D pairing if Jim Montgomery were to pull a fast one here.
This one might be, they might have to go up to the off-ice officials and actually have them look at video. See who's on there. So now Gord Dwyer's going to go to the Blues bench, and I think they are going to... Oh, hell, I don't know what they're going to do. I know he's going to go talk to the coach. So
Thomas was on. Shen was off. It's a left-handed shot face-off, so they tried to put Shen on. And maybe they just got confused down there. That happens.
Well, you know, an 8 and a 0 with a 1 in front looks that way. Right.
You know, one's got a C on the sweater, the other one's got an A.
That's all right. It's the Blues' #1 centerman now on the face-off. Thomas against Velarde. Empty net to our right. 3:14 to go. Blues area code left in Game 7. Blues trying to eliminate the Winnipeg Jets. They win the draw. Fowler clears it off the wing. Joseph to the puck. Gonna get hit, but he backhands it into the Winnipeg zone on a smart play. Jets will come the other way. 6-on-5, and the Blues have given some goals up this way this season, especially down the stretch. Bouncing puck finds Joseph, and another shovel out of the zone. Thomas racing to it. Shoots it from the red line wide of the empty net. And the Jets have to go 200 feet to get it. Trying to go to the second round of the playoffs after missing the playoffs just 2 straight years. Connor back in. Dumps it behind the net. Falk to the puck. Off the glass and out it goes. Winnipeg will let that be an icing call. 2:28 remaining. It was just 3 seasons ago. The Blues looked like they were going to miss the playoffs. Doug Armstrong decided to trade Ryan O'Reilly, Vladimir Tarasenko, Ivan Barbashev, Nico Mikolat, and he said
Suter, who is kind of backing in toward his goaltender, goes off of him and past Binnington, and there's still time here. 1:55 to go, Winnipeg within 1.
Second of the series for Vladislav Nemestikov. Hellebuyck gets back in the net. That was a 6-on-5 goal for Winnipeg. It comes at 18:05. Time of the goal for JS Furniture. Visit us online at furnitureandmore.ca. 1:55 still to go in this third period. 3-2 St. Louis. And Winnipeg win the draw. Here they come marching in again. They'll shoot it in. Ripped around to the far side. Fowler goes after it. It's knocked into where the corner. Helped along here. Fowler for Thomas. Rolled around to the near side. Parayko. Hellebuyck is still in the net. Now picked up again and advanced to Neighbors. He'll shoot it inside that Winnipeg end. The Jets will settle it down. 1:35 remaining in this third period. Game 7, 3-2 St. Louis. Hellebuyck to the bench for the extra attacker. Swain back inside his own zone. Here's Kyle Connor. Here we go. Winnipeg is 6-on-5. Far side for Neil Pionk. He beetles inside the zone. Rolled it around to the near side. Sandberg stopped that. Far side Pionk. Back into where the corner for Velarde. He'll leave it for Ehlers. Out in front. A shot by Perfetti. They're banging away at it. And Binnington, I think, holds the line and keeps it from crossing the goal line.
Oh, what a chance. Perfetti punched over, knows he just had a glorious look. Winnipeg, it's a nice clean entry on this, and they're just working it around. It almost looked like the Iafallo goal that tied the game in Game 1, where it's kind of a against the grain play, and the crowd's going nuts here. This might have crossed. Now the challenge is going to be whether Perfetti shoved Binnington with the stick.
And whether the whistle went too, right?
Right, exactly. So there's going to be a number of things here. Now the smart thing for Winnipeg is, regardless of what the ruling is here, they're using this time. Davis Payne is over there chatting. Now the officials have the headsets on, so we'll take a look here. Now, of course, this is the big challenge, right? Is you need to know when the whistle went. You need to know definitively that puck crossed. You need to see it. First glimpse, I didn't think I really saw anything. No, it just kind of sat on the goal line.
Yeah, I don't think it crossed.
No, it was close. It popped free, but I don't think it ever came out.
It would have had it not hit the shaft of Binnington's stick.
Yeah,
it would have crossed.
I guess the challenge would be, can you discern if that puck is sitting on top of Binnington's pad when he gets spun into the net? Because it's close there, but other than that, I don't really know. And I don't know if there's video to show that puck definitively in. You'd have to see almost from that crossbar cam down. But I mean, obviously Cole Perfetti and the Winnipeg Jets had a review kind of go against them earlier in this series, and this one might be even tougher. So
they're still deliberating, and now we're going to get Something concise.
On further video review, the call on the ice is confirmed. We have no goal.
And you knew the reaction was going to be predictable from the Jet fans. 1:06 remaining, third period, 3-2. St. Louis. Winnipeg will get a face-off inside that Blues end.
Yeah, the thing that's close is Binnington's right leg, where I think the puck is lodged, gets into the net, but his skate kind of sits on that back camera, so it never really goes further back into the net. So I don't know. Crowd's looking up at the scoreboard. They all think it's in, but Winnipeg's just got to focus on this draw.
Scramble face-off. Here's Winnipeg. Kyle Connor. Connor in the slot. Connor back in behind the net. Threw it out in front. Never got it toward the net. Slapped around the boards and all the way down it goes. This will be icing against the Blues. 52.5 seconds remaining in the third period. 3-2 St. Louis.
Yeah, and the crowd obviously still thinking that one crossed. Connor just trying to use his speed to see if he could get free in the slot. Couldn't. Went around the net and tried to find that centering play.
Velarde will take the draw against Braden Shen. To the left of Binnington. A fight to the finish here. Shen wins it cleanly. Fowler slapped it around the boards. Off a stick all the way down over the Jets net. And icing will be the call as Buchnevich shuttled that puck down out of his own zone. Another face-off with 47 seconds left in this third period.
Yeah, Winnipeg's going to flip sides for the face-off. They had been doing it on the right side of the ice. Adam Lowry's going to have to adjust. He's got a shot blocker on that right foot that he's got to retie. Kyle Connor pointing it out to him before the face-off.
Lowry will take the draw against Thomas. To the right this time of Binnington. It's one into the corner. Grabbed by Parayko. Flipped high out towards center ice. Knocked down with the glove of Neil Pionk to the near side for Kyle Connor. Darting through that neutral ice. Chucking inside the zone. Shoots. Kicked away by Binnington. Rebound back out in front. It's sent back toward the line. Ehlers can't hold the line. And it popped out towards center ice. 25 seconds to go. Ehlers will shoot it in. Rims around back in behind the net. After it goes full. Up along the boards. Knocked down by Connor. Back in behind the net. Slapped around the boards. Ehlers turns and fires from the point. That went off a skate. 13 seconds to go. Winnipeg trying to get it out of a pile. Velarde back in behind the net. Velarde back toward the line. Ehlers moves in, shoots, and he fanned on that. Got it back again. Far side, quick shot. Deflected in front. They score! Cole Perfetti with a deflection. 1.6 seconds left. In the third period, the Jets have tied it up at 3. Holy smokes! His second of the game. 1.6 seconds left. And Winnipeg has tied it at 3.
Unbelievable. Nikolai Ehlers has been kind of fighting this puck all night. And with 20 seconds left, it bobbles off of his stick and into the neutral zone. Winnipeg doesn't panic. They get right back after it. And Ehlers puts everything he can into a cross-ice pass that Winnipeg gets to the net quickly. And Cole Perfetti, another brilliant deflection.
Oh, my. We are not done yet. The last 1.6 was academic. And the Winnipeg Jets scored 2 unanswered in the third period and tie it. And for the first time in this series, we will go to overtime.
I am speechless, which is not a good thing for radio, but unbelievable by the Winnipeg Jets. Just no quit. There hasn't been any quit all year. And they found a way here in the third period to get themselves to overtime. Just unbelievable by the Winnipeg Jets.
Perfetti, his second of the game, third of the postseason in this series. Connor and Ehlers with the assists. 19:58 unofficially the time of the goal to tie it at 3. Time of the goal for JS Furniture. Visit us online at furnitureandmore.ca. Winnipeg with 2 6-on-5 goals late in the third period to tie it at 3, and we will go to overtime for the first time in this series. Unbelievable here tonight. Winnipeg saving the best for last, and high drama in downtown in that third period. Kyrou opened the scoring his third from Parayko and Buchnevich at 1:10. Joseph added on with his first at 7:16. 2-0 St. Louis after 1. Perfetti scores in the power play. His first of 2 on the night. Second of the postseason from Connor and Pionk at 11:41. Fax in the second, then restored the 2-goal lead at 19:25. His first from Walker. And it was 3-1 after 2 for the Blues. And then Winnipeg at 18:05, Nemestikov his second. 6-on-5, that was the goal that got Winnipeg within 1. Perfetti then ties it at 19:58. His second of the night, third of the postseason. Connor and Ehlers collect the assists. And Winnipeg going to overtime. And outside the whiteout party, the plaza, inside, it's just absolutely electric and pandemonium here in the city. Winnipeg out shooting now through regulation. St. Louis 28-20. And the power plays, Winnipeg 1 for 1. And St. Louis 0 for 1 in regulation. Overtime intermission report is coming up next with Kelly Moore and Dwayne Gilawaychuk. The score, the Winnipeg Jets 3, the St. Louis Blues 3. Overtime in a few minutes on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
Hey Jets fans, get ready for the Winnipeg Whiteout with Jets gear and TrueNorthShop.com. Choose from a huge variety of official Winnipeg Jets Whiteout apparel, headwear, novelties, and more. Need a new white hat, t-shirt, pants, or a jersey? We've got you covered.
Moving in, shooting, score!
Shop online at TrueNorthShop.com or by visiting one of our Jets gear store locations.
Growing up on a dairy farm taught me to take good care of the land so that the land can take good care of us. So on my farm, we're always looking for new and improved ways to do things. Because we don't just farm for today, we also farm for tomorrow. You see, dairy farming is all about preserving the land, water, and air for future generations. And that's why everything we do is all from a good place.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
No 3-on-3 or shootouts to settle the score now. This is the Stanley Cup Playoff Overtime on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
Well, when the Winnipeg Jets pulled Connor Hellebuyck with 3 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the third period, trailing 3-1. I'm not sure every one of the 15,225 in the building thought that a comeback of incredible proportions was possible. As we welcome you back to the third intermission, the Winnipeg Jets and St. Louis Blues tied at 3 as the Jets score not 1, but 2 6-on-5 goals in the final 2 minutes. And also included in there was literally a knob of a goal stick preventing a puck from rolling over the line that would have tied the game, but the Winnipeg Jets never gave up And Dwayne Gillowoychuk, it looked like St. Louis had all the answers to nurse this one home, but they just were not able to do so. And the credit for that goes to the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, that never kill, never die mentality they've had all year. They've won a lot of games late in the periods, tied a lot of games throughout the season, but they just weren't able to get any puck luck in the third period in the latter parts where they needed to get some. And all of a sudden, things started to change. You could just see, and when they pulled the goalie, they had ample opportunities, and the crowd started getting excited, a little bit more excited. They started winning some foot races, and they just had their patience in the pose with the puck, and they found a way to get some goals past Binnington, and now you hope that maybe he's sinking a little bit heading into overtime here.
Yeah, the shots 14-4 for the Winnipeg Jets in that third period, and probably for about the last 10 minutes or so, it was circle the wagons time for the St. Louis Blues. So how did the Jets do this, Dwayne Gillowoychuk?
Well, I think one thing is that they finally started getting pucks in deep and winning some puck battles along the boards in the offensive zone. And then they had some composure with the puck. You've seen Cole Perfetti, handle the puck a little bit. Kyle Connor handled the puck a little bit. When they didn't have a play, they'd look at the net. If there was any kind of chaos in front of the net, they'd put that puck on the net. If they didn't, they went low to high with it, D to D. The Ds, got pucks on net. It was all of a sudden they started to play with some pose with the puck and just find different ways to generate a scoring chance. And it just started to wear down St. Louis a little bit. And then you could just tell Winnipeg was getting more and more confidence with it. Even before they pulled their goalie, they had some chances to score, but just couldn't do it. But this is a team you can just tell that, never say die. But the unsung hero here so far tonight is Cole Perfetti. It's been one of his best games here in the series for sure.
Yeah, the sweet hands of Cole Perfetti. I don't know which, clearly the one with 1.6 seconds is the most significant. But that power play redirect in the second period, that takes elite skill.
It does, and it's everybody's been to a hockey practice before, but that's the type of play that the guys work on late after practice when the drills are done and defensemen are taking this like shots from the point. You work on that, but that's a skill to be able to turn your stick on your forehand side and be able to deflect it off your forehand. Usually you're doing a backhand from there, you turn your body, but he was able to do it facing the play and turn his blade down and be able to put it up over the shoulder of Binnington. That's a high skilled play.
It's kind of interesting that we thought that the Dallas comeback and the performance by Mikko Rantanen was one for the ages last night. But the Winnipeg Jets and the St. Louis Blues have authored a script that is worthy of that. And I'll tell you what, if the Winnipeg Jets find a way to win this in overtime, I hope that all of the cross beams and eye bars are bolted securely to this building.
Yeah, I think it's going to be loud for the players to come out, and the fans, I'm sure, will show their appreciation that they got to where it is now. But you're right, if the Winnipeg Jets do find a way to win this hockey game, win this series, this place is going to go crazy. This whiteout's going to turn into something bigger than anybody's ever seen before.
You have to give credit to the Winnipeg Jets, not only for never say die, but also to do this with a very shortened bench. The time on ice for some of their premier players, you look at Neil Pionk, he's at 29 minutes and 18 seconds. Dylan Samberg at 27:04. That's because Josh Morrissey had to leave the game about 10 minutes in after he took a hard hit from Oscar Sundqvist. He only took 4 shifts in the game and played a total of 2 minutes and 9 seconds. But he hung around for a bit, tried to take another shift, and then that was it. He went to the room and did not come back. And then you look even at the ice time for people like Cole Perfetti, 18 and a half minutes. Kyle Connor's just a touch under 22 minutes. There are people logging an incredible amount of ice time. Hayden Fleury, 21:45. That would be a good 8 to 10 minutes more than he plays in a game under normal circumstances.
But he sure excelled. He's done really well to step up and come into this series, come into this game, and be able to be a big part of it. He's skated a lot of pucks out of pressure. He's been able to add that offensive upside off the offensive blue line for this Winnipeg Jets team.
Kristen O'Mell, the host of the CJOB Sports Show, joining us now. The first ever Game 7 in Winnipeg NHL playoff history. Wow.
Oh, my God.
There'll be about 50,000 people that will say they were at this game.
It's just incredible. Like, I had the whole post-game story written, and it's gone. It's gassed. It's crazy that this just happened, right? Ehlers whiffs on the shot, and I'm thinking, that's it. Right, and then he's passing, and I'm like, there's no time to do that, right? And then just a quick one touch, it's in the net. I see the time, there's 2 seconds. I just got my head in my hands. Like, I just cannot believe what we just witnessed. I'm still shaking from it, honestly. It's crazy.
Ehlers to make the play that he did, but also Vlad Nemesnikov, after those 2 great chances about the 2 and 9 minute marks of the second period, to stay with it, to have the mental strength to score that goal that gets them to within striking distance.
And that goal, I think, hit 2 different Blues to go in, so they get some puck luck on that play finally, and then just to stick with it. Ehlers has been bobbling it all night. He's been missing the net. I think he's had a really bad game, and he comes up with the play to save their season. Perfetti's been awesome, but now they got to bring it home, right? Yes, you got it to overtime. Now you got to keep that momentum going, because it all kind of feels for naught if they end up losing this hockey game.
So, Coach, how does that work? I don't know if you have ever been in a situation like this coaching where you've had that lead, you think you are there, and then all of a sudden 1.6 seconds is left, and along comes the porcupine to spoil the balloon party. How do you regroup from that? What are the leaders or the coaches saying in that St. Louis room right now?
Well, I'm sure the leaders in the room are saying, like we've been the better team tonight. They've had the battle to find a way to get back a game tied. We've got to go out and play what the success we've had today. They were leading this game for, almost 3/4, 7th, 8th of this whole hockey game. Now they've got to come and realize that it's a brand new period. It's a brand new game of hockey. They got to go out and start fresh. They can't think about what's happened in the first 3 periods. They got to go out and win this hockey game the way that they've had success doing. But they've got an uphill battle to climb. They got a building that's alive now. They've got a team that's got the momentum, the energy. They just got to find a way to keep it simple and use it. But St. Louis has got some guys that can, streaky players can go and shoot the puck and score. Connor Hellebuyck's going to have to be good.
About 20 seconds or so. Bennington and Hellebuyck. Boy, you want a mano-a-mano.
In overtime, just like the Four Nations face-off, right? And the one thing for the Jets, all 3 of their goals not on 5-on-5 tonight. So we'll see if they can actually get one here, because it's probably going to have to be to win this game.
Paul Edmonds, Mitchell Clinton standing by with overtime next in Game 7 on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
Hey Jets fans, get ready for the Winnipeg Whiteout with Jets gear and TrueNorthShop.com. Choose from a huge variety of official Winnipeg Jets Whiteout apparel, headwear, novelties, and more. Need a new white hat, t-shirt, pants, or a jersey? We've got you covered.
Moving in, shooting, score!
Shop online at TrueNorthShop.com or by visiting one of our Jets Gear store locations.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or 2. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Growing up on a dairy farm taught me to take good care of the land so that the land can take good care of us. So on my farm, we're always looking for new and improved ways to do things. Because we don't just farm for today, we also farm for tomorrow. You see, dairy farming is all about preserving the land, water, and air for future generations. And that's why everything we do is all from a good place.
It can end quickly, or it can go a while. This is the Stanley Cup Playoff Overtime on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
First time in the series, we get overtime. It'll be 5 on 5. Long change for both teams. And Winnipeg getting 2 late goals to send this Game 7 into overtime. Barron will take the draw against Faxa. Settle in. Winnipeg wins the draw. They spray it back inside their own zone. Fleury settles back in behind his own net. He will survey. Oh boy, this place is into it. To the near side for Luke Shen. Into where the middle and off a stick. Flounders down inside that Blues end. Up along the boards in full. Paddled it out towards center ice. Winnipeg will snatch that. Curl back inside their own zone. Shen guarded up along the boards. Now picked up by Barron. Into where the slot. Barron shoots. Kicked away by Bennington. Flush back out towards center ice. And Winnipeg, as one of the linesmen was falling down over there, steered the puck clear of that and has it back inside their own zone to settle it down.
That Barron play might have been close on the entry, but a great opportunity for Winnipeg early in overtime.
Kyle Connor darts inside the zone on the far side, shoots, kicked away by Bennington. Rebound spills into where the corner. Grabbed there by Lowry. Lowry protects the puck, back for Connor again. Connor back toward the line. Sandberg will shoot it around back in behind the net. Gathered up by Iafallo. Back toward the line for Pionk. D for Sandberg. Shoots, it's blocked in front. Tumble back in behind the net. Fowler will backhand it around the boards. Hustling in there, Sandberg shoots as he pinched in that stop. Rebound, back the other way. It's sent ahead. Here's Walker and across the line. He'll drop it for Buchnevich for Fowler. Weak shot toward the net, that one wide. Try to grab that into where the corner is Lowry. He'll go after it. And he will protect the puck. Make a move around his own defenseman. Send it puck. Back around behind his own net to the near side for Neil Pionk. Long jump in, glove down by Bennington. And sent into where the corner. Parenko will send it around to the far side. In Winnipeg will grab it, put it back in behind the net. They keep it alive, put it back out in front for Fetty. Looking for another goal here, he's got two. Nemestikov was there as well. Fighting for the puck and came back toward the line. Out towards center ice. And in desperation, shot off the boards by Joseph. And down inside that Winnipeg end.
Looked like Perfetti took a shot kind of up high, I think unintentionally.
Nikolai Ehlers dancing in, dancing toward the side of the net. He's pushed off the puck by Suter. Goes into where the corner full. Back for Suter. Out towards center ice. Nuns it ahead now for Bolduc. Across the line, shoots. And he just missed on the short side. Kept in by Sundqvist. He's pounded against the boards though. Winnipeg out towards center ice. Nemestikov, long shoot in. Glove down by Bennington. And he'll hang on for a whistle. 17:33 remaining in overtime. Tied at 3. Shots on goal, 33-20 now for the Jets.
End of a shift there for Nemestikov on that rush. So he was just trying to put that thing toward the net. Winnipeg can get that offensive zone face-off. But a couple of good looks early for Winnipeg and some good defensive play as well. Winning a couple of battles in the defensive zone to get those efficient breakouts they've been looking for.
Face off to the right of Bennington. Lowry will take the draw. And he wins it toward the far side wall. Broberg got high stick, no Cole. Connor is there as well, fighting for the puck. It squirts into where the high slot grabbed by Buchnevich and backhanded out towards center ice. Sandberg has to turn his skates and go back to retrieve it inside his own zone. He takes a pop there. It's rolled around to the near side. Winnipeg gave it away, though. Back in behind the net. St. Louis did the exact same thing. Sandberg to the near side for Pionk. Out towards center ice. Off of Iafallo. And down it slides inside that Blues end. Ice and washed out. Buchnevich skipped by a check. Over to the far side for Kyrou. For Thomas. Back for Kyrou. Back to the near side. Buchnevich back door. And he just missed. Winnipeg will one-handed back out towards center ice. And down inside that Blues end. And it'll be icing against the Jets.
A couple of tired wingers for the Winnipeg Jets and Kyle Connor and Alex Iafallo out there. So the big face-off coming up here for Morgan Barron, who in the game so far is 3 for 9, but he's going to need to win this one. A big defensive zone draw coming up for Winnipeg.
Face off to the right of Hellebuyck. Braden Shen against Barron. Barron will have to get a stick down first. Scramble face-off off the dot. Winnipeg will punch that into where the corner. Blues go after it, back toward the line for Fowler. Shoots. Hit the instep of Braden Shen's left skate. Winnipeg into where the corner, they go after it. Neighbors takes a hard pounding there, but it's picked up by Braden Shen. Back in behind the net. Back out in front. A quick shot by Parayko off the shoulder of Hellebuyck. It grazed there, pounded off the back wall, and out towards center ice it goes. Blues turn for some offensive zone time. Braden Shen will snap it back in. Toropchenko hassles after it into the corner on the near side. Came away with the puck, put it back to the line. Broberg on the far side. Now for Falk. Sways his way into the corner. Falk back in behind the net. Muscled off the puck. Winnipeg will pick that up, and Velarde, he gave it away out in front. And a shot by Walker, stopped by Hellebuyck. Oh, the game was on Walker's stick on a miscue by Winnipeg, and Hellebuyck came through with a huge save. And then the puck is dumped the distance, icing against the Jets.
Velarde, I think, tried to go back against the grain here, but didn't have as much room as I think he thought. Luke Schenn does a great job to kill the play below the goal line, but thinking that Velarde's just going to keep going up the right wing wall, he lets go of the check. And that's what forces the turnover.
Barron will take the draw against Faxa. To the right of Hellebuyck. And Winnipeg will win it. DeMello slides it far side. Chugging through that neutral ice is Niederreiter. Tapped off the boards. Winnipeg wants a change. 15:45 remaining in overtime. We're tied at 3. Broberg had some problems with it. Sorts it out now for Falk. Flipped out towards center ice. Bounced off a body. Back to collect it to the near side here. And it's sent back inside the Winnipeg end by the Blues. Flipped over by his head by Pionk. Not enough for icing. Blues want to change. Fans are chanting, "Go Jets, go." Broberg back in behind his own net. Winnipeg with a soft forecheck here. Broberg far side for Kyrou. Kyrou, couple of hard strides through that neutral ice now. Picks up some speed, crossed over the line. Buchnevich moving in, shoot. It's blocked in front by Pionk. Moved ahead to the near side for Nikolai Ehlers. He'll get it out towards center ice in desperation. Back the other way. Here comes Kyrou moving in, shooting. Stopped by Hellebuyck. And he'll dustpan the rebound back in and hang on for a whistle.
Yeah, just a turnover in the neutral zone by the Winnipeg Jets, and St. Louis comes back the other way. Kyrou gets a good look from the top of the circle, but Connor Hellebuyck right at the top of that crease, cutting down that angle, takes this one right in the stomach and swallows up that rebound.
Face off to the left of Hellebuyck. Lowry. Connor, Iafallo, Fleury, and DeMello. Sundqvist will take the draw. Winnipeg will win it. Lowry into the corner for Fleury up along the board. Sundqvist trying to prevent that from getting out. Into the high slot. Bouncing puck. Swing to the near side. Fowler shoots through traffic. Blocked it away by Hellebuyck. To the near side, DeMello. DeMello will fashion it up along the boards and down inside. That Blues and icing washed out. No. They're going to call icing against the Jets with 14:43 remaining in OT, tied at 3.
Blues have used that intermission to kind of reset themselves and kind of get back on their toes. Winnipeg having to defend the last couple of minutes here. Just want to clean up a couple of things in terms of their puck movement. Their support's been pretty good, but it's just a matter of being able to execute.
Back toward the line, Parayko in a face-off win. Gave it away. Kyle Connor looks around. He darts through that neutral ice now. Jets have some numbers at center ice to the near side now. Beeling into the corner. Iafallo squeezed out. Buchnevich curls back in behind his own net. Hard off the boards and sends it all the way down. Icing will be the call against St. Louis.
And St. Louis is upset because in the neutral zone, they felt Neil Pionk had a chance to play this puck. But Pionk kind of kept his stick in the air and pivoted as that puck was going by him instead of making a play on it. So that's what they're upset about. Nonetheless, Winnipeg will take the offensive zone draw.
Face off to the right of Binnington. Winnipeg won the draw. Nikolai Ehlers into the corner, shoots and juggled by Binnington from a bad angle, and he makes the stop and will hang on. 14:20 remaining in OT. Now the Winnipeg Jets, 4-4, lifetime in overtime in the playoffs. They had one overtime game in the series in 18-19 with St. Louis. They won that game. Kyle Connor scored the overtime winner in that game. Falk back in behind his own net. Hard rimmer on the boards to the near side of the face-off win now for Neighbors. Neighbors will flop it inside the Winnipeg end. Glove down now by Sandberg back in behind his own net. Hard rimmer on the boards. Cole Perfetti will get that out towards center ice and backhanded in. This might be icing, and it is against the Jets.
I think Cole Perfetti was wanting to put a little bit more arc on that. Have it just kind of land in the St. Louis zone, but it kind of stayed a little bit flat on him and ends up taking that hard forward hop. So few icings here for Winnipeg. They just looking to try to get that on a dump in, but big face-off once again. Every face-off is big in overtime.
Nemestikov against Braden Shen to the right of Hellebuyck. Who's going to get to it? Snuggerud will go after it. Backhand it toward the net. Bounce just wide. Winnipeg. Nemestikov back in mind his own net. Pionk pulled around far side. Escaping his own zone is Sandberg. Flipped it ahead, and Ehlers turned the blade of his stick and has it redirect down inside of that Blues end. He heads off at a line change. Exit stage left. And the puck is shot over the boards by the Blues. And is that Braden Shen? Is there going to be a penalty here against the Blues in overtime? Yes, there will be.
Penalty number 10, 2 minutes delay of game.
Delay of game call to Braden Shen in overtime.
Well, here you go. A great opportunity for Winnipeg. Scored on their only power play opportunity in the game. It didn't take a whole lot of time. So you know it'll be the same personnel that'll hop out over the boards. But talk about opportunity.
Jets are on the Prairie Battery power play. Our one-stop battery source is Winnipeg-born, Canadian-owned, prairiebattery.ca. We do it to the left of Binnington. Velarde will take the draw. Power play for Winnipeg. They're 1-for-1. They're on their second. They lose the draw. And Parayko will wheel out of his own zone, 2-on-2. He will chug inside that Winnipeg end, going one on Ehlers. Curls into toward the corner. Takes a hard hit there. Toropchenko came away with a puck. Toropchenko pushed against the board. Winnipeg will scare it away. Neil Pionk after it to the near side and settles it back down and behind his own net with the help of Nikolai Ehlers. Now Winnipeg will start to saunter outside of their own zone. A big long drop. Pionk now for Kyle Connor. Cards his way through that neutral ice for Cole Perfetti with 2 goals tonight. To the near side, Velarde across the line. Velarde secured it into the corner for Perfetti. Back for Connor to the near side. Back along the boards. Perfetti jammed it around the boards. Picked up by Sundqvist and dumped the distance. Paddle down on Hellebuyck, and he will make that stop. 1:10 to go on the power play. Winnipeg to the near side. Velarde back to the drop for Cole Perfetti. Skipping through that neutral ice. Drop it center ice for Connor to the near side. Velarde back toward the line. Pionk up top of the far side for Ehlers. To the near side for Connor. Catches that. Surveys. Moves in. Doesn't shoot. Played it down low. Perfetti back out in front. He had his stick impeded. And it's intercepted by the Blues and flopped all the way down the ice once again. 40 seconds to go in the power play for the Jets.
That looked like Cole Perfetti almost got between 2 plays there, whether he wanted to send it into the slot for Iafallo or hang on to it.
Nemestikov across the line to the near side for Appleton. Appleton back toward the line. Fleury coming down Main Street. Shoot, stop, rebound. It's underneath Binnington. And he was swimming on the top of the blue ice, and he hangs on. 25 seconds remaining. The penalty to Braden Shen for delay of game.
Like this play by Fleury, just a quick play to the net. Just get that puck, turn and shoot. You had Nino Niederreiter kind of all by himself in front there, getting inside on Broberg. And Binnington looked behind him quickly because I think that deflection kind of fooled him, but it ends up right underneath the Blues goaltender. Some good pressure by Winnipeg, and Nino Niederreiter right in his office.
Face off to the left of Binnington. Nemestikov will take the draw. Iafallo, Fleury, Appleton, Niederreiter. Faxa will win it for Parayko. Strides out of his own zone and shoots it right on top of Hellebuyck. 15 seconds to go on the power play. Last call on it. Ding, ding, ding for Winnipeg. Fleury hustles out of his own zone to the near side for Appleton. Crossed over the line. Shoots it into where the corner and darts after it. Takes a body check there. Niederreiter picks up the puck. Nemestikov back toward the line for Fleury. Fleury far side. Nemestikov moving in, shooting. Blocked in front. Nemestikov pounded it back toward the front of the net. That stopped. Nemestikov got hurt on the far side. Penalty is over. Darting through the neutral ice. Toropchenko shooting. And he put it over the net. And into the meshing. And out of play it goes. 11:29 remaining in OT. Braden Shen's out of the penalty box. Jets are 1 for 2 with the man advantage. Tied at 3, 11:29 to go in OT.
It's a vicious cross check that Nemestikov takes away from the play. I believe it's from Ryan Suter. That's why he's hobbled, is Nemestikov. He's staying on the bench, but he's in a world of hurt.
Face off to the right of Hellebuyck. Lowry will take the draw against Shen. Shen will win it back toward the line for Fowler. Fowler up top on the far side. Ferletti spins it around back and behind the net. Paddled around to the near side. Tanev goes after it. Pulled it off the wall. Protects the puck. Verdemello rolled it around to the far side under some pressure. Now Sandberg. Lead pass for Tanev. Skips inside the zone. Shoots! From a bad angle, and it's gloved down by Bennington, and he'll hang on for a whistle. Good job to stay with it for the Winnipeg Jets inside their own zone, Mitch, to get that puck, settle it down, and then advance it.
Yeah, always important to know where your supports are, right? Like Dylan DeMello gets this pass in kind of an awkward spot, and it's kind of rolling on him, but he knows if he plays it back behind the net, he's going to have support there, and that's exactly where Dylan Sandberg was, and leads to Winnipeg coming out of their zone cleanly and being able to get up ice for the Tanev chance.
Lowry will take the draw to the right of Bennington. He wins it back toward the line for Sandberg. To the near side for Pion. Up top for Sandberg. Onto the far side. Pass is intercepted. And now dancing through that neutral ice. Buchnevich to the far side for Thomas. Back into where the slot. Parayko shooting! And it's stopped by Hellebuyck. He came out to the top of the ice and made a dynamite save. 10:55 remaining in overtime. Excellent rush for the Blues. And Hellebuyck standing tall right now.
It's kind of the sequence that St. Louis has used a lot in this series, where that fourth player up ice, this one being Colton Parayko, and it's usually been obviously a defenseman for St. Louis jumping up in the rush. And Connor Hellebuyck snips it out.
Blues want to draw. Full. Far side, Buchnevich. Back in behind the net, rotating off a check. Thomas tried to get it out in front. Stopped there by Parayko. By Pion. And now sauntering through that neutral ice to backhand it ahead was Barron. Jammed along the boards, and Barron will come away with it again. At center ice for Niederreiter. Into where the middle of the ice, tapped ahead. Barron chugs inside the zone on his off wing. He'll get it in deep with a backhand. Falk back in behind his own net. Pulled it off the back wall. Up along the board. Stopped by Barron. Back into where the net. Bounced off of Broberg. Into where the corner. Moved up along the boards. Grabbed there again by Niederreiter. Niederreiter protects the puck. Falk in on him. Stapled against the boards is Niederreiter, waiting for some help. Nemestikov is back out there. We are halfway through overtime. Tied at 3 in game number 7. Appleton back toward the line. Near side, Luke Shen pushed it into where the corner. It goes off the stick of Buchnevich and falls into the meshing, and we'll get a stoppage of play. 9:57 remaining in overtime. We'll take a timeout on the ice and do the same on your radio. We are tied at 3. You're listening to Play Now Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets, Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Growing up on a dairy farm taught me to take good care of the land so that the land can take good care of us. So on my farm, we're always looking for new and improved ways to do things. Because we don't just farm for today, we also farm for tomorrow. You see, dairy farming is all about preserving the land, water, and air for future generations. And that's why everything we do is all from a good place.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey Jets fans, get ready for the Winnipeg Whiteout with Jets gear and TrueNorthShop.com. Choose from a huge variety of official Winnipeg Jets Whiteout apparel, headwear, novelties, and more. Need a new white hat, t-shirt, pants, or a jersey? We've got you covered.
Moving in, shooting, score!
Shop online at TrueNorthShop.com or by visiting one of our Jets gear store locations.
Where heroes are born and legends are made. This is the Stanley Cup Playoff Overtime on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
Halfway through overtime. Face off to the left of Bennington. Tied at 3. Faxa against Nemestikov. And the Blues will win it. Chipped off the boards out towards center ice. Scurrying after it is Pion. Got some help now. Rotating off the boards. Nemestikov. Far side for Ehlers. Wristed inside the zone. Tumbled around the corner. Backhanded around by Perfetti. Snatched again by Parayko. Moved up along the wing. Walker scurries out towards center ice. Trying to move it ahead off the stick of Faxon inside his own bench. Will get a stoppage of play.
Winnipeg trying to get back possession off that dump in. St. Louis does a good job to win that battle below the goal line and kind of force this puck back out into the neutral zone. You just wonder if it's going to be kind of off of a face-off type play that one open look is going to come. Nikolai Ehlers, of course, scored an overtime winner off of a face-off in the series against Edmonton.
Blues win the draw and backhanded inside the Winnipeg end. After it goes DeMello for Lowry out towards center ice. Fowler. Far side Parayko. Chip back inside the Winnipeg end. Sandberg. Rimmed around the far side. Pulled off the wall line by Connor. To the near side for Iafallo. Spins it down inside that Blues end. Hustles after it. Takes a body check there. Put it back by the net for Lowry. Lowry got to the forehand. Two Blues are in on him. Good stick lift by Iafallo. Got the puck back toward the line on the far side. Sandberg to the near side for Connor. Moves in shooting. Stop. Rebound. Pushed into the corner. Grabbed again by Thomas. But in on him was Connor. Connor side of the slot for Iafallo. Back toward the line. DeMello. DeMello walking the line. Wrister through traffic. Bounced off a body. Parayko goes after it. Parayko trying to move it up along the boards and did. It's a 2-on-2. They thought it was a glove hand pass to the Jets. Here comes Thomas across the line. Far side. Snaps it for Snuggerud. Back out in front. Butch Davids was prevented from getting a stick on that by Sandberg. And Winnipeg will lift it back out towards center. Broberg hustles back down along the boards. Broberg back in behind the net. Trying to roll it around. Hit the side of the goal. Niederreiter comes to help out. He will stuff it back in behind his own net for DeMello. Moved ahead to the near side for Velarde. Velarde at center ice. Paddles it down inside that Blues end. After it goes Barrett. Slipped and fell. Braden Shen will pull it off the wall. He will move it into toward the middle. Snuggerud to the near side for Neighbors. Backhanded from the Jets line. Back inside that net. Or behind that net. Rolled it around far side. Pionk. Letty will hold the line. Back in behind the goal. Neighbors takes a hard smash from Luke Shen. It goes up along the boards. Winnipeg trying to fetch it there to free it up. Barron back in behind his own net. Far side for Luke Shen. Shen, long lead pass off the stick of Niederreiter. And it flies from center ice. And continues to grab trajectory. And inside that Blues end into the meshing and out of play it goes. We're going to neutralize face-off.
Connor with the most recent good look for the Winnipeg Jets. A aggressive seam pass with a saucer from Dylan Sandberg from the left point. Finds Connor in that right circle. He's kind of backpedaling, so he's not able to shoot right away. Tries to go high short side on Binnington. Just catches the Blues goaltender's shoulder.
Tony Nato out for a shift along with Appleton and Tanev. Winnipeg wins the face-off at center ice. DeMello to the near side. Up along the boards now by Appleton and inside that Blues hand. Rolled around Parayko. Back in behind his own net. Stuff to the far side for Sundqvist. He sends it out to center ice. That grazed off the stick of Joseph, but he was on his side of center. Icing will be the call against the Blues. And we'll see if there's a line change for the Jets. Yes, there will be.
Yeah, Nemestikov's line hops right out there. They've been dangerous throughout this contest, especially when they were put together in the second period.
Face off to the right of Binnington. Center on the boards. The Blues win the draw. Back all the way down. Icing will be the call again against St. Louis.
And coming into the game, Oscar Sundqvist, who just won that last draw, was 4th of 4 Blues centers. 41.9% in the dot. Vlad Nemestikov came in at 37.7. You know he'd love to get one here.
Jets won the draw. Nikolai Ehlers high slot. Dropped it off for Pionk. Wristed through traffic. Blocked in front. And it's in. Matthew Joseph's paraphernalia. And they'll blow the whistle. Faceoff will stay inside the Blues end. We'll do it to the left of Binnington. And now the Blues will get a chance to change. And so will the Winnipeg Jets in corresponding fashion.
I tell you, if that shot got by Joseph, it was a maze of bodies on the way to Binnington. He had the Blues goaltender had kind of lunged to the right, to the correct side that the shot was going to, but Winnipeg had a presence in that net front.
Velarde will take the draw against Faxa. To the left of Binnington. Faxa will win it. Broberg, hard off the boards out towards center ice. Hopped over the stick of Neil Pion. He has to turn to go and get it. He and Toropchenko will tie each other up. Sandberg fished it off the wall, sitting around the far side. Falk shot blocked there by Niederreiter. And it ricochets back out towards center ice. Faxa sways back inside his own zone for Falk. Back to Faxa to the near side, pushed ahead. And paddled in by Kyrou. Hellebuyck out of his net to play it. Hellebuyck in toward the corner, spills around to the near side, up in the air. Pushing and shoving going on. Winnipeg swats it to the far side. Try to get it out. Sandberg back in behind his own net. Rolled it around to the near side for Neil Pion. He will stride out towards center ice and shoot it in. Bounce off the back wall, back on in front. Niederreiter going toward the net, and he couldn't get it to settle down. Still has the puck back to the line for DeMello. He's pressured, put it back in behind the goal. Rolled around to the far side. Iafolo goes after it. Niederreiter is there as well. Fowler is there. Fowler trying to move it up along the boards, and did. And out towards center ice, and on the stick of Robert Thomas. Inside that Winnipeg end, he came. Goes to the far side for Kyrou. Knocked away. Winnipeg searching for a puck back inside their own zone. It found the stick of Connor. He'll turn it north and flip it down inside that Blues end. Lowry pounds his man in along the back wall. Puck goes to the near side. Schenn will try to hold the line for Lowry. Far side and a shot by Perfetti. And he just flipped it over the net, looking for the hat trick and the series win. Here come the Blues out of their own zone. To the near side again. It's Thomas. He wants a line change, and he'll send it down deep inside that Winnipeg end.
Oh, what a look just off of a puck battle win along the walls. Perfetti I think his weight was just not quite where he wanted it, not quite steady, taking that shot, trying to get it to the net.
Perfetti again will dig it off the wall. Turned over there, the Blues out towards center ice, and Schenn, he turned it over. Nemestikov, headman pass for Nikolai Ehlers for the series win, shoots, kicked away by Binnington. Oh, he broke free and had a chance walking in, back the other way. Snuggerud, near side, Broberg shoots, and diving out is Perfetti to block that. Somebody broke their stick and tumbles half into the corner, half in front of the net. Shot for the point, blocked there by Nemestikov. Chipped off the boards and inside of the Blues bench, and on a play it goes. Excellent chance for Ehlers. How about the save made by Cole Perfetti on Broberg?
Yeah, Cole Perfetti, we talked about how good he's been away from the puck, and on the defensive side as well. He makes a big play there, and Nikolai Ehlers gets that partial break. He's kind of got Nick Leddy on him, so he doesn't have a lot of time to make a play, and we've seen him use this move before where he kind of tries to chip it to the other side. And Binnington just gets the glove on it. A great look for Nikolai Ehlers, who's had a few in the limited amount of time he's seen in this series.
Face off to the left of Connor Hellebuyck. Back toward the line. Parayko shoots, deflected in front, and skips right into Hellebuyck. And he'll make the save and hang on. 4:40 remaining in OT. Tied at 3.
And we talked about the importance of face-offs, and that's exactly why right there. Connor Hellebuyck in great position and no second chance opportunity even off the deflection.
Winnipeg wins the draw. Rotating back in behind their own net. DeMello off the skate of Velarde. Out towards center ice it goes. Snatched again by the Blues and flopped back inside the Winnipeg end. Pion back in behind his own net. Outletted near side for DeMello. Up along the boards, Velarde. Backs his way in toward the zone. Put it toward the side of the slot. Grabbed by Niederreiter. Tried to drop it there for Barron. Back for Niederreiter. Weak shot toward the net. Glove down by Binnington. He'll hang on for whistle. 4:14 remaining in OT. Tied at 3. Game 7.
Talk about hard work by Nino Niederreiter. He just barrels his way around Colton Parayko to just try to be that first one in on that dump-in puck. He's able to do it. He's not able really to get full possession at any point, but it's that work that allows Winnipeg to end up with this offensive zone face-off. Great work by Niederreiter.
Lowry will take the draw against Schenn. To the right of Binnington. Lowry wins it back toward the line for Sandberg. Into where the corner for Kyle Connor. Connor darting around, twisting around. Back toward the line for Sandberg. Back for Connor. Threw it into where the corner, back in behind the net for Lowry, trying to get it out in front. Broken up, Connor after it, taken off stride there by Thomas. Moved ahead, Buchnevich. Here come the Blues, they'll backhand it down inside that Winnipeg end. After it, there goes Falk. Ridden in along the boards by DeMello, came back toward the line, Buchnevich. Spins it around to the far side for Broberg. Broberg will saunter down in behind the net to the near side for Kyrou. In on him, DeMello. Now for Lowry, who takes the puck. Lowry put it off the window and bounced it out towards center ice. Broberg with the puck again. Broberg will flip it back inside the Winnipeg end. Sandberg back after it. Toropchenko in on him. They tie each other up back in behind that Winnipeg net. Toropchenko with it again. Winnipeg will try to squeeze him out. In there is Walker, pushed against the boards by Sandberg. 3 Jets are there, 3 Blues are there. 3:15 to go in overtime. Lowry trying to dig it out of some paraphernalia there in the corner. Fax is there as well. Big snarl up, big pile up going on in this corner on the near side. They continue to fight on. Nobody's blowing anything down. It's still scrunched against the boards. Lowry will back off, and finally they will blow it down.
Might be for the best for Winnipeg there, too. At end of a shift, Adam Lowry in the defensive zone gets this thing flipped into the neutral zone. Obviously, you don't want to take an icing call when you've already been out there as long as that line had been. But he doesn't get it deep enough with the long change. So it's a kind of that fine balance that these players are trying to walk. And they all end up back defending in their own zone. So really nice work by the Jets defense, and DeMello and Sandberg and Adam Lowry there in support to keep that thing pinned long enough to get a whistle, which is hard to do.
Face off to the right of Hellebuyck. Barron will take the draw against Braden Shen. Shen wins it cleanly back to the line. Fowler, D-to-D in the far side. Parayko shot it toward the net, that one wide. Carried safely now by Barron. Around the side of his net, sent it all the way down. Nice will be the call against the Jets, as he just didn't click with that pass to Nino Niederreiter.
Yeah, and I wonder, because Parayko tried to hold the line, if that might have gotten waved off, but obviously they deemed it was coming too quickly, and for Parayko to reasonably be expected to make a play on it.
Face off to the right of Hellebuyck. And a push between the 2 defensemen of the Jets line for the Blues and out towards center ice. Sent right back in by Fowler. Hard rim around the board to the near side. There is Velarde, makes a nice move, crossed over the line. Velarde, side of the slot, pushed against the boards there by Braden Shen. Velarde still fighting, fell down, in to try to help out as Barron into where the corner. Still after it, back toward the line for Fleury. Shot it into where the corner, bounced off a body, snatched by Parayko. Moved into where the middle for Braden Shen. Across the line, in on him to snatch the puck away and send it back out towards center ice, Niederreiter. Winnipeg will control the puck at his own line. Fleury, far side now again. Dumped inside the zone by Barron. Winnipeg wants a line change. Beetling after it there is Perfetti. Moved ahead, Buchnevich off his stick. Flies down inside the Winnipeg end. Domestikov goes after it into where the corner. Helped out there by Luke Shen. Far side for Ehlers. Ehlers' little stutter move. He knocked it back toward the line. Stopped there by Falk. Falk shoots that one wide. Stopped to the side of the net by Hellebuyck. Knocked into where the corner. Grabbed again. Sent back toward the line. Shot came in from Broberg. That goes over the net. Ehlers pounced his men into where the corner. Came away with a puck. Tried to move it out and did. Down the left wing boards. Domestikov. Pushed against the boards by Falk. Winnipeg inside the Blues end, and the puck is ejected back out towards center ice. Neil Pionk back in behind his own net, will stop up and survey.
That's going to rank right up there with one of the hardest hits I've seen Nikolai Ehlers throw, but it's huge. It knocks Kyrou off the puck.
Now Connor darts inside the zone, curled back in behind the net. Connor still with the puck, back to the line. Pionk shoots for traffic, stopped by Bennington. Ricochet back out towards center ice. 55 seconds to go in overtime. Pionk moved it ahead. Here comes Iafallo. Spins inside the zone. Down along the board. Threw it around to the far side. Racing after it, Lowry. Ahead of him is Joseph, and he'll punch it back in behind his own net. 40 seconds remaining in overtime. Fowler sways out towards center ice. Moved it ahead and off the stick of Paxson. Grabbed by DeMello. Hard rimmer on the boards. Out towards center ice. And Velarde tried to dive for it to prevent it from getting all the way down. He just couldn't catch up to it. Icing will be the call against the Jets. 29 seconds remaining in OT. We're tied at 3.
Velarde was close on this one. And Another close call for Winnipeg in the offensive zone. Neil Pionk with a couple of Winnipeg bodies and a couple of St. Louis bodies gets this point shot all the way through, but Binnington's able to get the stick on it.
Blues with the draw. Leddy off the boards for Snuggerud. Back for Leddy. Winds up. Passed it into where the corner. Into the side of the net. Paddled there by Hellebuyck with that big goal stick. Into where the corner. Back for the line. Leddy shot. And that went off the shin pads of Velarde. Sprays back out towards center ice. 10 seconds to go in overtime. Backhanded back inside the zone by Shen. And DeMello will count it down. And we'll head to double overtime. And for the Winnipeg Jets, for the second time in franchise history. Actually, the third. Two previous to this one, and now a third. So nothing settled through 75 minutes of hockey tonight. We're tied at 3.
Tense. You can just kind of feel it. Any opportunity that Winnipeg puts toward the net, you can feel the crowd getting louder and louder. And then anytime the Blues have the puck, they're wanting Winnipeg to force a turnover quickly. A couple good looks for Winnipeg, couple good looks for St. Louis. Both goaltenders holding strong.
Shots on goal, 39-24 after 4 periods of hockey tonight. Nothing settled, tied at 3. We'll send it over to Kelly Moore and Dwayne Gillowoychuk for our intermission report. Lots to talk about with those two as well. You're listening to Play Now, Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And I'm Brett.
At Mid-Canada Fasteners, we try to be your one-stop shop for all of your construction needs.
We have a large inventory of threaded rod, strut and strut fittings, as well as construction-rated ladders and sawhorses, janitorial supplies, rigging supplies, and personal safety equipment.
So come by and see what we have to offer. Shop where the professional tradespeople shop. You're always welcome here at Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools, 1557 King Edward Street.
There's nothing quite like the playoffs. And there's no better way to enjoy the games than in the comfort of your own home.
Top shelf, baby!
JS Furniture wants you to break away with these amazing deals. Save up to 40% off 4 model recliners and select reclining sofas, so you can watch every hit, shot, and celly. JS Furniture, serving you for over 50 years. 1725 Ellis Avenue in Winnipeg, and now open in their new location in Portage la Prairie. Visit furnitureandmore.ca.
Growing up on a dairy farm taught me to take good care of the land so that the land can take good care of us. So on my farm, we're always looking for new and improved ways to do things. Because we don't just farm for today, we also farm for tomorrow. You see, dairy farming is all about preserving the land, water, and air for future generations. And that's why everything we do is all from a good place.
Are you ready for a little bonus hockey? This is the Stanley Cup Playoff Overtime on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
Who knew the first ever Game 7 in NHL playoff history in Winnipeg would result in such a dramatic evening of hockey through the first period of overtime. 80 minutes of hockey. We are still looking at a 3-3 tie. The Winnipeg Jets outshooting the St. Louis Blues 11-4 in that overtime period. So Dwayne Gillowoychuk, since the start of the third period, the shots in this game are 26-8. You'd have to think that some people like Neil Pionk and Dylan Samberg at 39 and 36 minutes respectively, Colton Parayko and Cam Fowler right in around the 35-minute mark. You wonder if it's going to be a beautiful play or if it's just going to be a fatigue mistake that results in this series coming to an abrupt ending.
Well, those are some big-time minutes for those 4D you're talking about on both teams. But what starts to happen when you've played lots of minutes like that, and it's not where you get now you're out every third shift. You're out every other shift mostly here for those guys that are playing. Going back for pucks, when teams dump pucks in, when you have to turn and go back and get them, you lose that step, you lose that quickness, and now all of a sudden you're battling. And when that happens, there's more and more fatigue that goes so much quicker. So you got to be sharp. You got to make sure that you have your good gaps as a D and all those. But usually when you start getting tired, your brain doesn't work as quick and your feet don't move as quick as well.
Yeah, Dylan DeMello, he's just over the 30-minute mark. It's probably been a while since Hayden Fleury played 27 minutes and 16 seconds in a game, and even Luke Shen at 22-20. So the Jets only going with 5 defensemen, but they've spread it out a little bit more. St. Louis is primarily leaning on their top 4. Justin Falk, he's over 30 minutes, and his defense partner Philip Broberg at 30 minutes. So Jim Montgomery and his coaching staff pretty much going with a 4-man rotation. Luddy and Suter are more or less observers on the bench.
Yeah, they're getting spotted in, on offensive zone face-off, neutral zone face-offs if they can, if there's a D zone face-off, and St. Louis thinks that a certain matchup is not going to be out there. They'll go out there with one of those top 3 guys or 4 guys on St. Louis. But Shen's the same way. He hasn't seen much ice time, but he's gone out there a few times to help. And give head coach Scott O'Neill credit. He put his 4th line out a couple times in that period just to kind of generate. They did what they did a couple times. They got in pucks deep. They were physical and got an offensive zone face-off for the Jets.
It's amazing, though, Christian O'Mell, who joins us now, the host of the CJOB Sports Show. You go back to the first period, and the Winnipeg Jets were literally squeezing the filings out of their sticks. Now they look like the team that's a little more comfortable in this scenario.
This is the Winnipeg Jets that we've grown to know, right? This team that does not allow a lot of opportunities. And they're also buoyed by a crazy comeback, right? And that's a big momentum push. St. Louis hasn't been able to generate a ton. They've had, the odd man rush here and there, but the Jets sticks have been so crisp since really the third period began. I think they've been at the right place a lot to knock plays down, to take passes away, and really defensively limit what St. Louis can do. Now, offensively, there have been fleeting moments, like the Ehlers' partial break was the best chance they had. That's the one that you look back at and say, ooh, I hope that's not one they say what could have been.
Yeah.
But then the power play, too, they just couldn't win a face-off, too. They never really got set up until the very end of that power play. But they were still the better team in OT, but none of this matters if you can't get the next goal.
Yeah, St. Louis has won 57% of the face-offs by a 44-24 margin, so they are controlling pucks off the draw. And where it becomes extremely critical, of course, are those defensive zone face-offs. And we might not see as many of those, Dwayne, in this 5th period of the game, the second of overtime, because now you're back to the shorter change. That long change first overtime period is very difficult, especially on the defenseman.
Yes, it is. It's a long way to get back to home base sometimes when you're on the second period. It's a long way to get there. A lot of times what starts happening is, and you saw it in this first overtime, where you just change the person that's closest to the bench and you get fresh legs out. That guy goes wide, and then you at least have the guy that's tired close to the bench. But all those times of getting to the red line by your forwards, making sure pucks get out, making sure pucks get deep, that first good pass, those things are all going to become important, especially in a change like that. But now that they're in their natural sides, natural ends, you're going to see probably maybe some more stretch passes, which we've seen Winnipeg doing. Gabe Velarde almost caught one on an icing attempt. You're going to start seeing that a little bit more, where some of the forwards are going to start sneaking in behind the D.
Well, not many people left the rink. Once that overtime period started, I was kind of interested to see what the seats would look like, and they're basically all occupied. And kudos to the talented artists that you hear in the background. I don't know how deep the playlist is for Mach 10 tonight, but they might be playing duplicates before long. But Christian O'Mell, the one thing about this, a new hero, if the Winnipeg Jets are able to win this game, will become part of the lore of hockey in this town and province.
Absolutely. It'll be a where were you on May 4th, 2025 moment, right? And it is just the first round, but this feels like more than that to some degree too, because they were a minute and a half from just going out with a whimper, right? And just a complete failure. And if they lose this game, it is still a failure, but they still fought back super hard to get it to this point. So, yeah, go into the offseason with a bit more hope, but you still lose the game. So getting over the finish line, whoever it is that scores this goal, if it is the goal, we saw Kelly in very different circumstances, 2 goals in this building in 2021, empty. And we wondered, what would it be like to... Because we've never seen just a playoff OT goal in this building before scored by the Jets. And so we maybe get to see it not only in overtime, but also Game 7 after a 3-1 comeback, and it's going to be at least double overtime. It's never going to ever be louder than that, you'd think. So it's tantalizing, but again, who's going to be the one that gets it done? Who's going to make the play on St. Louis' side? Who makes the mistake? Because in overtime, it tends to usually happen because someone messed up as you get more tired, and the Jets are playing with 5D and have been the whole night.
Yeah, and Vlad Nemesnikov shake it up for a bit, but he was able to stay in the game. So based on what Kristen was just saying, we haven't done this. We didn't do it for the first overtime, but we're deep enough now. If you had to pick somebody to play the hero on either side, who would you go with, Dwayne?
For the Winnipeg Jets, I'm going to go Morgan Barron. It's going to be one of those goals. It's going to be a deflection or, a net front battle or a tip or whatever that is. But he's going to be a big body in front of the net. For the St. Louis Blues, I'm probably going to go Jake Neighbors.
Okay, how about you, Christian?
I think Ehlers made, so many not quite plays in regulation that he has that crazy one-touch pass to set up Connor, to set up Perfetti. At the end of OT, it'd almost be fitting this guy who might be playing in his last game as a Jet ended up with the game-winning goal. So I'm going with Ehlers and then Robert Thomas for the Blues. He has scored a Game 7 double overtime goal before for the St. Louis Blues back in 2019 against Dallas. Not that I would ever remember that for bad reasons, but it's actually, no, so it was Pat Maroon that scored that, but Thomas did all the work. It was just sitting on the goal line. Maroon knocked it in. So he's been in these situations before, the Blues have. So I'm going to go with Thomas and hope I'm wrong.
All right, and I'm going to go with Cole Perfetti for the Winnipeg Jets to display his inner Mikko Rantanen. And join certainly the list of incredible Game 7 performances. And Colton Parayko, I know he's played a lot. I don't know if he'd have the energy to even draw back and let the puck go, but he seems to be that defenseman that the Blues look for when they're able to get that puck in the offensive zone and watch for the trailer.
He had an excellent chance in overtime here, being the fourth guy on the rush. They found him jumping in, and then also Braden Chen found him sneaking down the back door. It looked like a design play that they had done before, and he got everything on that shot.
And speaking of Connor Hellebuyck, Christian, in that overtime period, he didn't face a lot of shots, but he looked like the Connor Hellebuyck of the regular season. I try to remember who it was. Jake Neighbors, I think, where he came right to the top of the crease and basically took the net away.
There were no rebounds on the Blues' chances in overtime, and I think that's been key, right? He's looked more composed in net, and he can erase everything that's happened in this series if the Jets win tonight, right? And then it's a whole new ball game going into Dallas, but there's still, it's playoff overtime. It could hit a dude. It could hit us. Anything can happen. Hockey's such a random sport sometimes.
Yeah. And that's why those face-offs, I know during the regular season,
there's so many icings in OT.
Yeah, everybody is kind of, whatever. But now, and especially in overtime of a Game 7, that's where, as you mentioned, it can be the most innocuous of plays, but if it gets into the net, then the series is done.
Well, I feel like the best forward line has been Nemesnikov, Perfetti, and Ehlers, but Nemesnikov's been getting crushed at the dot.
Yes,
and he has tended to be not great at faceoffs in his career, and is not going well for him tonight. So that's the one drawback on them starting on the ice.
He and Morgan Barron both are a combined 13 and 24 at the faceoff dot. But Mark Scheifele was only 43%, which is exactly where the
They're
Jets
not a good faceoff team.
No, they haven't been, and that's the one. I don't know why that is, Dwayne, but that's the one thing that doesn't seem to change from the regular season to the playoffs.
It's all about, face-off matches, how the design plays, all that comes into effect, but it's a key part for any game, but especially now in overtime.
Sitting back and enjoying every second of this are the Dallas Stars, 3-3 as we get ready for period number 5 next on Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Hey everyone, Adney and Verk here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch the movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Verk and Demers on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Growing up on a dairy farm taught me to take good care of the land so that the land can take good care of us. So on my farm, we're always looking for new and improved ways to do things. Because we don't just farm for today, we also farm for tomorrow. You see, dairy farming is all about preserving the land, water, and air for future generations. And that's why everything we do is all from a good place.
Hey Jets fans, get ready for the Winnipeg Whiteout with Jets gear and TrueNorthShop.com. Choose from a huge variety of official Winnipeg Jets Whiteout apparel, headwear, novelties, and more. Need a new white hat, t-shirt, pants, or a jersey? We've got you covered.
Moving in, shooting, score!
Shop online at TrueNorthShop.com or by visiting one of our Jets gear store locations.
Hey, did anyone bring some extra munchies? This is the Stanley Cup Playoff Overtime on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
Third time in franchise history, we go to double overtime in a playoff game, tied at 3. Paul Edmonds, Mitchell Klin with you. Jets are flying from our broadcast right to left. Game 7. Perrin, Ryder, O'Lardy, Fleury, Luke Schenn. Winnipeg went to the draw. Schenn for Fleury. Trying to move it inside the zone. Came right back to him. Now for Luke Schenn on the far side. Indirect from Velarde at center ice. And sent it down inside that Blues end. Sent by Fax around. Tumbled around here to the near side by Falk. Can't get it out. Falk back again. Rink wide for Broberg. Wristed out towards center ice. And on the tape there of Toropchenko. He'll flip it down on top of the Winnipeg net. That went just a little bit wide. Rimmed around to the near side. Winnipeg out towards center ice and go. Parayko now for Kyrou. Shuri's inside the zone. Moving in. Shoots. Blocked away by Hellebuyck. And the rebound cascades into the mesh, into the corner on the far side. And out of play it goes. 40 seconds in to double OT.
Now Winnipeg tried to squeeze in a line change there on that puck that went into the neutral zone. And Parayko with a quick little backhand pass to send Kyrou in on the rush chance. So big save there by Connor Hellebuyck early in the second overtime.
Lowry will take the draw against Robert Thomas. To the left of Hellebuyck. Winnipeg will get the puck bouncing around, though. They couldn't corral it back out in front. Here's Thomas. Side of the slot, waits. Thomas shoots. And he put it over the net. Tumble around to the near side. Parayko will pinch in. Holds the line into where the corner. Back in behind the net, taken off his stick by Sandberg, chipped up along the boards. Kyle Connor will tie up his man, Buchnevich. Big scrum forward into where the corner. Kyrou came away with it. Saunders back in behind the net, squeezed out nicely by Neil Pionk. Trying to move it up along the boards, can't get it out. Winnipeg with it again. It's in some skates. Found there by Kyle Connor, 2-on-2. Chip and chase down inside that St. Louis end. Peeling off is Lowry for line change. Connor wins the battle into where the corner. Came away with the puck. Rolled it back in behind the net for Cole Perfetti. 2 goals tonight. Back to the far side to Mestikov. Back to where the line, DeMello. Near side, Fleury shoots. And it's off a stick and wide. Settle down to Mestikov. DeMello shooting. Blocked away by Binnington. Rebound. Put up along the boards and out towards center ice. Snuggerud at center. He'll shoot it in. Avoid a check. Stopped by Hellebuyck. Snapped around to the near side for Fleury. Reverse to the far side for his team partner in DeMello. Up along the boards to Mestikov. Turned his stick and it's sent down inside that Blues end. Suter back in behind his own net to pick it up. Into where the middle and the Blues are out towards center ice. To the near side, Schenn for Snuggerud. Chopped off his stick back the other way. Here's Nikolai Ehlers. Saunders inside the zone. Put it back out in front for Fetty. Locked and loaded. He fired looking for the hat trick. He put it wide on the short side. Corralled again by Falk. Falk up along the boards. Got it out towards center ice for Snuggerud. Shuttled down inside that Winnipeg end. After it goes, Sundqvist back in behind the net. Send it back around to the far side for Kyrou. Kyrou shoots. That went wide. Grab to the near side, sent back toward the line for Letty. Letty to the near side for Buchnevich. Buchnevich will drop it now for Thomas. Shoots through traffic. That went wide. Grabbed by Broberg. Off his stick it goes. Picked up by Shen. Moved ahead for Appleton with fresh legs. Crossed over the line. Dropped it for Tatum. Tatum moving in. Shoots! And it's kicked away by Binnington with the left toe. Lowry back to the line. DeMello shoots. Stick save made by Binnington. To the near side. Pionk shooting. And he flung it wide. And it cascades around on the far side and out towards center ice. Fans are enjoying this. Settled down by Tanev. Now for DeMello, who sways back inside his own zone.
Just one of those put it on the net and anything can happen. Winnipeg had a couple of really close calls there, just grazing outside the post. A good look and great foot speed by Nikolai Ehlers to set up that Perfetti one-timer chance.
Out towards center ice. Toropchenko skips inside the Winnipeg end. Deposits there, goes back after the puck into where the corner. Pushed against the boards on the far side. Winnipeg trying to wrestle him off the puck. Goes back in behind the net for Luke Shen. Snapped it around the boards with some authority. Stopped by Parayko. His shot from the point is absorbed by Hellebuyck, and he'll hang on for a whistle. 16:24 remaining in double OT. Tied at 3.
And Hayden Fleury standing in front of Connor Hellebuyck, taking no chances there. Once that point shot is kind of let go by Parayko at the point, Fleury just gets completely out of the way so that Hellebuyck has a clear look at it. We've seen Brandon Tanev do this play a couple of times where he comes in and it looks like he's looking for a pass and he just kind of puts the puck toward the net, and he nearly fooled Binnington on the short side on that last rush.
Face off to the left of Hellebuyck. Barron against Braden Shen. Jets win it. Sandberg. Far side now for Velarde. Hops through that neutral ice and softly sends it down inside that Blues end. Parayko goes after it. Knocked it into where the corner. Winnipeg will try to stop that. Fowler is there along with Niederreiter. Velarde wins the battle back toward the line. DeMello up top now here for Sandberg. Back for DeMello moving in, shooting! And it's in and out of the glove of Binnington, and then he dives out at the side of his net to smother that and hangs on for a whistle. 4 minutes have expired in double OT.
We've seen Winnipeg run this kind of give and go, if you will, between the D just to try to get St. Louis moving around a little bit and to create a bit of a lane, and that's exactly what happens as DeMello sends this shot. Might have gone a little bit wide, but he's using Nino Niederreiter as a bit of a screen and maybe even a tip if he's able to get his stick on it. He tries to, but Binnington's the one that ends up getting the glove.
Face off to the left of Binnington. Nemestikov will take the draw. Won by the Blues. Broberg rolled it around to the near side for Joseph. Joseph smothered there by Sandberg. Reverses. He just about gave it away in the slot. Bouncing puck. Held there by Nikolai Ehlers. Now for Nemestikov. Nemestikov will punch it along the boards, but he got squeezed out. Picked up by Joseph. Moved it ahead for Thomas. Across the line. Thomas near side. Sundqvist slides it toward the net. That went wide. Came off the back wall. Picked up by Perfetti. Spit off the boards. Nemestikov goes after it. Puts on the brakes at center ice. Put it back into where the middle. Cole Perfetti darts in. Got tripped up. No call. Play continues. Full. Moved it ahead at center ice. Stopped there by Lowry. Chuck back inside the zone. Flopped it into where the corner, Ethan Walker. Back behind his own net for Parayko. Rolled it around on the far side, Toropchenko. Taken off stride there by Lowry. Winnipeg tried to chop the puck up along the boards. Hit a body. Toropchenko stuffed it back inside the Jets' hand. After it goes Luke Shen. Scampers back in behind his own net. Hard wrister up along the boards. Winnipeg will force it out towards center ice. Lowry is there. Takes a body check from Walker, but got it toward that Blues line. Picked up by Kyle Connor. Darts inside the zone. Connor works his way into where the corner. Sways back. Connor's still with it. Backhands it into where the corner. After it goes Appleton back toward the line for Fleury. Far side DeMello. Far side again for Connor. Connor back in behind the net. Kicked it from a skate to a stick. Got taken off stride in the Blues. Will get out towards center ice. Kyrou across that Jets line. He'll wait. Push it into where the corner. For Buchnevich. Back toward the line for Letty. On the far side now for Suter. Shoots. Blocked in front. Tumbled into where the corner. Winnipeg going after it there in Barron. Swats it up along the boards now for Tanev. He scurries out towards center ice. He got knocked off the puck. Out towards center ice. The puck will slide. Letty will push it right back in. Stopped there by Tanev. And he'll flip it out towards center and bounce it back inside that Blues end. 6 minutes have expired in this double overtime period. 14 minutes remaining in double overtime. Winnipeg back inside their own zone. Niederreiter Hoisted out towards center ice. Velarde racing back inside the zone. He'll force a turnover. Tony Netto trying to get it toward the net. That stop came back with the line. Held there by Pionk. High slot Velarde. And he just couldn't fashion it to a stick. Back out towards center ice. A bit of a break. Snuggerud moving in. Great stick there by Neil Pionk to knock him off the puck. And advance it now north to Niederreiter, and he'll stuff it again back inside the Blues end. Winnipeg wants a change.
Neil Pionk's over 40 minutes in this game. Just a tremendous one-on-one play covering for Sandberg.
13:15 remaining in this double overtime period. Bolduc after the block back in behind that Winnipeg net. Tried to avoid a check there, headed it off for Sundqvist back to the line for Fowler. Shoots deflected in front, that one wide. Grabbed again by DeMello. Rimmed around the boards. Fowler keeps it in, shoots. Deflected just wide on the near side. Scampering back after it again. A couple of Jets, a couple of Blues. Rimmed around to the far side. Ehlers will wrist it out towards center ice safely. Moved ahead again for Sundqvist. Punched back inside the Winnipeg end. Came into where the slot. Backhand! And it's gloved down by Hellebuyck. Off the stick of Matthew Joseph. 12:44 remaining in double overtime. We're tied at 3.
And that just shows how quick that the Blues can transition and get back into the offensive zone and look dangerous. But Connor Hellebuyck once again, top of the crease, got a good sight line on it. Good box out by DeMello and Fleury to make sure the St. Louis Blues couldn't get any more for traffic up there in front of their goaltender, and Hellebuyck's able to snare it with the glove.
Face off to the left of Hellebuyck. Lowry will take the draw. It's won by the Blues. Falk shoots. Stopped by Hellebuyck again. And he'll hang on. We'll do it again to his left.
Yeah, once again, I mean, we've been talking about face-offs kind of throughout overtime in this game. It's 56% leaning towards St. Louis. And Falk gets a good look off the one face-off by Thomas.
Lowry digs at it, wins it into the corner. Fleury rotates around to the far side. Frya follow. Darts out towards center ice for Lowry. Backhands it down inside that Blues end. Binnington up to stop that. Slides it around to the near side for Falk. Falk rink wide on the far side. Kicked ahead by Broberg. Spills back inside the Winnipeg end. Pionk rolled it around to the near side again for Fleury. Jets have been down to 5 defensemen since the first period. We're in double overtime. Buchnevich, cross-ice pass, off a stick, waiting for it is Thomas. He'll flip it back inside that Winnipeg end. Both teams will make some changes. 12:05 remaining in double OT.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of just get that red line, get it in, and keeping things extremely simple here in overtime.
Pionk will shoot it in. Rims around again to the near side. Chopped by Parayko. Just about gave it away. There's Nathan Walker to help out. Side of his slot. Back for Parayko. Back toward the line. Kept alive by Sandberg. His shot went wide. Far side Barron. Hard rim around with a backhand to the near side. And flushed back out towards center ice by the Blues. Crossed over the line. Back to the near side. Hard hit there by Sandberg. Winnipeg rescues the puck. And Velarde back in behind his own net. Long lead pass for Niederreiter at center ice. Niederreiter curls back inside his own zone. Hands the puck off. Far side for Luke Schenn. Schenn didn't like the read. Winnipeg wants a change. He passed it back off again for his team partner in Sandberg. Long lead pass to the far side. Nikolai Ehlers stays on side. Crossed over the line. He'll drop it for Schenn. Coming down Main Street. Shoots. Stopped by Binnington. Rebound. Gathered up by Winnipeg. Sauntering toward the corner. It's Ehlers. Shoots from a bad angle. Blocked it away by Binnington. Rebound grabbed again. Nemestikov back toward the line. Fleury left side point. Now for Ehlers. Back for Fleury. Chopped into toward the high slot. He settled it down and backhands it back in behind the net. Nemestikov sways there to pick it up. Nemestikov rimmed it around the boards again on the far side. Pulled off the wall Fleury. Now again for Perfetti. Turns and fires. That stop. Rebound is flushed and plungered out towards center ice by Neighbors. Both teams make a change. Quick up. Nikolai Ehlers across the line. Swaying away from some traffic. Rimmed it around to the far side for Falk. Up along the board. Stopped by DeMello, but it popped over his stick and out towards center ice. Ehlers will send it back down inside his own zone for Hellebuyck. He rolled it around to the far side, then reversed by Pionk. Winnipeg will try to get it out. They can't. And a second opportunity they do in Kyle Connor. Joseph to the near side. Sorry, Mitch. Back up along the boards for the Blues, and Joseph will dump it back inside that Winnipeg end.
Just going to say second time this period where that puck has kind of made its way toward the Winnipeg Jets bench as they're going through a line change. Really alert over there to make sure you're not jumping early.
Pumped inside that Blues hand by DeMello. Rolled around back in behind the net. Broberg will paddle it around off the stick of Kyrou into the middle. Here come the Blues and Robert Thomason across the line. Tried to move it in. That was broken up. And Winnipeg, again, will discard it back out towards center ice. Fowler reverses to the near side behind his own net for Parayko. Up along the wing. That's going to be icing. Nobody touched it for the Blues, and the Jets will get a face-off inside that St. Louis hand. Tied at 3, 9:32 remaining in double OT. And they'll take a timeout on the ice and do the same on your radio. 9.5 to go in double overtime. Nothing settled in Game 7. You're listening to Play Now, Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey from downtown Winnipeg and Canada Life Center on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 and 680 CJOB.
Growing up on a dairy farm taught me to take good care of the land so that the land can take good care of us. So on my farm, we're always looking for new and improved ways to do things. Because we don't just farm for today, we also farm for tomorrow. You see, dairy farming is all about preserving the land, water, and air for future generations. And that's why everything we do is all from a good place.
Hey Jets fans, get ready for the Winnipeg Whiteout with Jets gear and TrueNorthShop.com. Choose from a huge variety of official Winnipeg Jets Whiteout apparel, headwear, novelties, and more. Need a new white hat, t-shirt, pants, or a jersey? We've got you covered.
Moving in, shooting, score!
Shop online at TrueNorthShop.com or by visiting one of our Jets gear store locations.
Hey everyone, Adney and Burke here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
No 3-on-3 or shootouts to settle the score now. This is the Stanley Cup Playoff Overtime on 680 CJOB and Power 97.
9:32 remaining in double overtime. We'll do it to the right of Binnington. Jets scoring at 18:05 and 19:57 of the third to tie it at 3 in dramatic fashion. And here we are, Mitchell.
It's great. The fans haven't lost any energy whatsoever, which is no small thing for the Winnipeg Jets playing in double overtime, especially with some of the minutes that are racked up on the back end for a group that's been playing with 5D since early in the first.
Lowry will take the draw against Robert Thomas. Into where the corner it goes. Moved up along the board, stopped by Lowry, put it back out in front, off the stick blade there of Iafallo. On the fill, Iafallo will hold the line into where the corner for Kyle Connor. Double team there, but he managed to get some free ice, put it back in behind the net for Lowry. Lowry with 2 goals in this series. Lowry back in behind the net for Iafallo. Iafallo back to where the line for Sandberg. D-to-D for Pion. Winds up, shot it wide with purpose, came off the back wall. And it's gloved down by Binnington, and he'll hang on for a whistle.
Yeah, ideally you're looking for the play off the end wall there. It kind of came off a little bit dead, so Binnington was able to react to it pretty quickly. And if Binnington doesn't make the play on it, then Adam Lowry standing right there, and Alex Iafallo is about half a stride away on the goal line.
They do it to the left of Binnington. Barron will take the draw against Faxa. Winnipeg wins it back to the line. Neil Pion slap shot deflected in front. And then chopped down was Barron. Racing out of his own zone is Walker. Walker to center ice. He'll push it down inside the Winnipeg end. Go back after it. Walker back to where the line here for Falk. Falk sways, slap shot blocked in front there by Tanev. He felt that when he's down. He hobbles back up. Fights for the puck into where the corner. Sandberg squeezes. Toropchenko there. It's scooped up by the Blues. Back to where the line. Falk on the far side for Broberg. Broberg, a shot through traffic. Ricocheted and stopped by Hellebuyck. Winnipeg again will exit the zone with a dump out. And it's sent right back in by Falk, and both teams will make some changes.
What a block by Brandon Tanev, who I think got his glove up to cover his face just in time. That's a big block in double OT.
DeMello to To the near side at center ice, will dump it in, but he wasn't quite at the red line. The pass didn't click with Ehlers. Icing will be the call against the Jets. 8:13 to go in double OT.
Yeah, trying to hit Ehlers in stride here. He's hammering that stick on the ice, trying to get it in speed so that he could try to break through, and just not quite able to make contact with it, so it goes down for icing.
Face off to the left of Hellebuyck. Nemesnikov will scramble the face off. Puncher back inside the zone, a little deeper there by Kyrou. Back in behind the net after it goes Sandberg. Sandberg up along the boards for Ehlers. Flipped out towards center ice and on the glove of Cole Perfetti. Swings his way inside the zone, but had to beat a double team. Fowler took the puck away. Up along the boards to the near side for Kyrou. Pass to himself. Across the line, he'll drop it now for Buchnevich. Back for Kyrou into the corner. Kyrou back for Buchnevich along the boards of the hash. Put it back out in front. Broken up by Velarde. Nice job. Slipped and fell into the corner. Got back up. Tried to move it ahead for Nemesnikov. Stopped. Center back out in front. Buchnevich couldn't get a stick on it. And Niederreiter will make sure that he flushes it back out towards center ice. Broberg back inside his own zone. Onto the far side. Lost the puck. Velarde to the near side. Niederreiter skips inside the zone. Trying to fight off a check. Lost the puck. Back toward the line. Grabbed by Brayden Schenn. Swings inside the Winnipeg end. Going inside and out. On Neil Pionk. They fight for position into the corner. Sent around by Neighbors. Hit a scuttled stick. Back toward the line for Liddy. Back for Neighbors. On the far side. Back toward the line. Turns and fires back in behind the net. Grabbed by Parayko. Pinched down along the boards. Parayko gave it away, and Winnipeg and Niederreiter again will hoist it back out towards center. Leddy to the near side for Snuggerud. Changing on the fly, continues. Snuggerud back inside his own zone for Colton Parayko.
Some good defensive sticks by the Winnipeg Jets on that last shift. There was a small little seam on the cross-ice play that St. Louis tried to get to, but it goes off both Nemesnikov and Nikolai Ehlers' sticks.
Lowry back around the boards to the far side for Iafallo. 2-on-2 with Kyle Connor. Iafallo striding inside the zone. Iafallo toward the net. Curled back in behind the net. Got squeezed out by Fowler. Jammed along the boards. Lowry comes in there for support. Lowry trying to roll off the board. Back toward the line for Sandberg. His shot is blocked. Back out towards center ice. And the Blues got tripped up. Stopped there by Sandberg. Winnipeg hop back across the line. Lowry now for Kyle Connor. Up top for Sandberg. Shoot. Deflected in front. Rebound. And it's just pushed wide. Good chance there. Iafallo and Lowry were both there. Dump back out towards center ice. And Winnipeg back inside their own zone. Both teams will change again on the fly. Under 6 minutes remaining in double overtime.
A couple of times in this game, there's been that loose puck in around Bennington.
Nikolai Ehlers speeding inside the zone. Curled back in behind the net. Trying to put it back out in front. Intended for Perfetti. That was broken up. Perfetti had his stick lifted, and now Thomas out towards center ice. Put it on the stick of Buchnevich. He'll fire it inside the Winnipeg end. After goes Fleury. Curls into the corner. Up along the boards now Perfetti. Cross-ice pass for Neil Pionk. Back for Perfetti. Cross the line. Drop Niederreiter. Moving in. Shooting. Stick save made by Bennington. Rebound into the corner. Winnipeg has the high guy there. Is 3 or 4 now for the Blues. Emerge out towards center ice. And skipping through that neutral ice is Suter. He'll shoot it in. Trapped there with a goal stick of Hellebuyck. Winnipeg rotates out of the corner. Fleury, far side for Schenn. Up along the boards for Appleton. Off his stick it goes and down inside the Blues end. Rimmed around by Barron. Center out of the far side, intercepted there. Chugging out towards center ice is Toropchenko. He'll backhand it down inside that Winnipeg end. Toropchenko takes a body check there from Luke Schenn. Puck is contested along the boards and expressed out towards center ice to the near side here, and Barron down along the board, still has the puck. Barron back in behind the net, rolled it around to the far side. And Toropchenko coming back to snatch that. He'll move it now for Sundqvist to center, and he'll flop it down inside that Winnipeg end. 4.5 remaining in double overtime. Loose puck at the side of the net. Lowry trucks over to the far side. He'll skate out of his own zone towards center ice on his off wing down inside that Blues end. Lowry moving in, shoot. That goes wide. Came off the back wall. Sundqvist will cart that into the corner. Taking off his stick. Back toward the line. Pionk up top for Fleury. Winds up, shoot. Deflected in front. It hit the post. It hit the post on the far side. Lowry with the puck again. Back toward the line. Pionk up top. Fleury winds up. Pass at the side of the net for Kyle Connor. Darts around. Connor back toward the line. Pionk walks the line. Wristed through traffic. He scores! Deflected in front by the captain, Adam Lowry. Jets win Jets win! Jets win! In double overtime tonight! What a comeback! And they'll move along in the series and win it 4-3. Bring on the Dallas Stars. The whiteout has been held over to the second round for the first time since 2018. Lowry's third of the playoffs. And the Winnipeg Jets have done the unthinkable, coming back to beat the St. Louis Blues. They were down 3-1 until late in the third period. What a game. What a series. What a night. 4-3 the final in double overtime for the Jets. Baby!
What a moment in downtown Winnipeg. Unbelievable by the Winnipeg Jets on their 47th shot. Neil Pionk sifts one through. Adam Lowry gets the deflection. And it beats Jordan Binnington. Both goaltenders have been absolutely tremendous over the course of this game. And Winnipeg dug deep, well into the reserves to find it. They tie the game, and I thought they had the better of the chances in overtime, and finally they get one through. Jordan Binnington.
Handshakes at center ice. The Blues have played their last note in this series. The Jets struck the high note in double overtime tonight. And their captain gets the game-winning goal. Bring on the Dallas Stars sometime this week here in downtown. What a hockey game. An epic moment in this franchise's history. And playoff hockey in downtown will continue. Lots to talk about. A ton to unpack. And let the party not begin, but continue on Sunday Fun Day in downtown. The final score once again, the Winnipeg Jets 4, the St. Louis Blues 3 in double overtime. The Jets win the series 4-3. Totals of the post-game show are coming up next. You're listening to Play Now, Winnipeg Jets playoff hockey on the radio home of the Jets. Power 97 at 680 CJOB.
You are listening to Winnipeg Jets hockey on 680 CJOB.
For fun and reliability you can count on, your one-stop battery source is Canadian-owned Prairie Battery.
Prairie Battery is family-owned and operated, providing reliable and trusted battery power. When you want true power, come see Prairie Battery and the Prairie Battery team, or visit us at prairiebattery.ca.
When you need batteries for industrial, commercial, auto, recreational, marine RVs, and more, it can only be prairiebattery.ca.
Boston Pizza is Canada's go-to place for playoffs. So this year, we're doing more than just hoping a Canadian team wins it all. We're manifesting it. We're planning the parade. We even got a bus. And we've got the sports bar dialed in, with ice-cold draft beer and an elite playoff menu. Like the guy in the movie said, kind of.
If we plan it, we will win.
So when it's game day, post up early at Beep.
And it's this core group of guys that have all stuck together. And I think we've kind of, I don't know how to explain it, you've kind of passed the coach-player relationship because we've been there so long. And we all just have this common goal of what we need to do. And there's a lot of pride, a lot of passion with the group of guys we have. And then Julian's done a great job of kind of filling in. And when I say fill in, it's like getting the Nick Pauls, getting the Brandon Hagels, guys that are still long-term guys, but that weren't, pseudo-drafted into our system. And it's, we've been really fortunate that it's worked out the way it has. But I truly believe the stability, the belief, and the passion of the same group of people that have been together, and that's what's really helped us. It takes its toll, both physically and mentally. And I give our players credit, to come back and make the playoffs the next year. But, now we've been one and done for 2 years. We've had some breaks. We've had a little bit of turnover. And we need to get back. We need to get back to those, making some runs in the playoffs. And but I will sit here and say, I'd be remiss to say, those years, they do take a toll. And maybe it has taken a toll in the last, couple of years on us. And but I can tell now that, a couple of years of being bounced in the first round, it's just a different vibe coming in, especially this year of seeing all the players. And there's an energy I haven't felt in a while. And I think part of that is because we have been bounced, in the last 2 years.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Zach Crawford with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and make sure to remember that all games, times, and schedules are subject to change, so check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, there's only one playoff game on the schedule for today, and at 7 p.m., the Winnipeg Jets will host the St. Louis Blues. You can listen to the Jets on SiriusXM, Channel 91, Internet 951, and you can listen to the Blues on Internet 944. For more NHL news and updates, make sure to check out SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 for 24/7 hockey coverage throughout the season and from all around the hockey world. I'm Zach Crawford with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and make sure to remember that all games, times, and schedules are subject to change, so check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, there's only one playoff game on the schedule for today, and at 7 p.m., the Winnipeg Jets will host the St. Louis Blues. You can listen to the Jets on SiriusXM, Channel 91, Internet 951, and you can listen to the Blues on Internet 944. For more NHL news and updates, make sure to check out SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 for 24/7 hockey coverage throughout the season and from all around the hockey world. I'm Zach Crawford with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and make sure to remember that all games, times, and schedules are subject to change, so check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, there's only one playoff game on the schedule for today, and at 7 p.m., the Winnipeg Jets will host the St. Louis Blues. You can listen to the Jets on SiriusXM, Channel 91, Internet 951, and you can listen to the Blues on Internet 944. For more NHL news and updates, make sure to check out SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 for 24/7 hockey coverage throughout the season and from all around the hockey world.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
Iron Mike Keenan, former NHL head coach, came on the morning skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. That's SiriusXM Channel 91. He was on to promote his new book, Iron Mike, My Life Behind the Bench, and he took some time to talk about his career, specifically the regrets and the influences.
When you get a chance to sit down now and you think back on all these times, any regrets?
Yeah, of course you have regrets. I had the heat turned up quite a bit at my own distraction. So I could have, and I evolved, and even Greg, you just mentioned Greg Gilbert. He said, Mike, you're completely different here in New York than you were in Chicago. So you learn from your own mistakes. And for some reason, I was so driven. I took it personally if we lost, personally. And I was miserable. And I could have probably managed the principles of my coaching career and what I thought was important. I would always stay intact with those, but the methodology could have been turned down a bit and probably
a little too intense,
a little bit smoother,
a little too intense
at times, yeah. For sure.
Now, big names, Scotty Bowman, Roger Nielsen, Tom Watt. I mean, I don't know, mentors, friends. How did they all influence Mike Keenan?
Well, first of all, I played for Tom at University of Toronto, and then we developed a close relationship. And I would talked to him a lot about coaching. Now I'm in Peterborough. He'd come and see me, and we developed sort of a minor league team for him because the guys that couldn't play for U of T right away, like Mike Polino, come out to play with me in Oshawa. And so we developed a relationship that way. But we talked a lot about hockey. He taught me more about hockey than anybody else. And then Roger and I have a relationship through Peterborough. We're getting now into sort of the technical part of video replay and how that. And then I got Scotty Bowman, the greatest ever. He hires me for the first time. Probably saw a little bit of himself in me. And he's calling me in the middle of the night after every game. He drives home from Rochester, and at 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm not exaggerating, sometimes an hour conversation in the middle of the night. Why did you put Bob Mongrain on the penalty killing at that time? Like, okay, Scotty. But he was just, and he would test me all the time, and I just give him a firm belief in what I thought was right, and he respected that. So it was interesting and then we became friends over the years. It was a real 3 guys that really influenced my career.
That was Iron Mike Keenan, former NHL head coach and author of Iron Mike, My Life Behind the Bench. He was in conversation with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for the Morning Skate on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. That's SiriusXM Channel 91.
The PGA Tour comes to life on SiriusXM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, SiriusXM 92.
I'm Zach Crawford with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and make sure to remember that all games, times, and schedules are subject to change, so check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, there's only one playoff game on the schedule for today, and at 7 p.m., the Winnipeg Jets will host the St. Louis Blues. You can listen to the Jets on SiriusXM, Channel 91, Internet 951, and you can listen to the Blues on Internet 944. For more NHL news and updates, make sure to check out SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 for 24/7 hockey coverage throughout the season and from all around the hockey world. I'm Zach Crawford with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and make sure to remember that all games, times, and schedules are subject to change, so check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, there's only one playoff game on the schedule for today, and at 7 p.m., the Winnipeg Jets will host the St. Louis Blues. You can listen to the Jets on SiriusXM, Channel 91, Internet 951, and you can listen to the Blues on Internet 944. For more NHL news and updates, make sure to check out SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 for 24/7 hockey coverage throughout the season and from all around the hockey world. I'm Zach Crawford with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and make sure to remember that all games, times, and schedules are subject to change, so check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, there's only one playoff game on the schedule for today, and at 7 p.m., the Winnipeg Jets will host the St. Louis Blues. You can listen to the Jets on SiriusXM, Channel 91, Internet 951, and you can listen to the Blues on Internet 944. For more NHL news and updates, make sure to check out SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 for 24/7 hockey coverage throughout the season and from all around the hockey world.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's SiriusXM FC on Channel 157.
Former NHL head coach Iron Mike Keenan came on the Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, and he was asked about the long Alexei Kovalev shift during his time in New York, and he shared his side of the story about the skilled offensive talent that was Kovalev.
The Alexei Kovalev shift. I've heard 7 minutes. I've heard 9 minutes. Hey, you stay out there. You kind of figure it out. Describe to us what went into that. How long was a shift? Certainly Kovalev was a talent, that's for sure, but he was a bit of an enigma.
Super talent.
Yes.
And talented people sometimes are elusive. And Alex, I try to explain to him, you're getting 20 minutes, and I don't want the shifts to be 1 minute, so you have 20 shifts. I'm going to give you 40 shifts at 30 seconds so you can build the intensity up. Understand? Yeah, I understand, Mike. Goes out there. Of course, it's a minute and a half. I said, now, Alex, the guy that's supposed to be playing behind you just missed his shift because now we're going to the next rotation. You're out there for 2 rotations. Okay, Michael. So, again, next thing, does it again. So I said, oh, my God. So I said, okay, guys, this time when he comes back to the bench, it's now going to overextend his shift. He's going to be a little tired. Don't open the doors. He comes over and I said, get out. He thinks I love him now. Get back out there, I said. So then he comes over again. And now I said, guys, he's going to want to climb into the bench because he's done. I said, when he comes over, puts his leg up, push him back out. And they pushed him. But now they are laughing on the bench. This is in New York City. Right during the game. Back there. So Alex figures it out. He scores a goal in the middle of this shift.
Wow.
He gets himself a rest. Stays out there. Finishes the period. So I think it's about 9 minutes. I walk off the bench. I said, Mess, explain it to him, will you, please? He said, I will. Don't worry. I'll look after it. So as a result, we fast forward now to the playoffs in Game 6, playing New Jersey. In the Jersey series, I double shifted him. When he had to come back, and he was electrifying. Mess got the 3 goals, but Alex was a horse. And it's very talented, powerful. And the problem was he was so efficient that he could stay out, but he didn't grasp the concept of just picking up the intensity. You could see him. He could dangle and hang onto the puck, and nobody could take it from him. He was resting while he was out there.
So in essence, it was a bit of a training ground for what was to come against the Devils at the most important time.
Exactly.
Wow.
So it turned out to be a good lesson for him because that's what he did in that game. 30 seconds, 40 seconds. I just said, Alex, I'm going to double shift you. Get ready. Don't be out too long.
That was former NHL head coach Iron Mike Keenan in conversation with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin for the morning skate on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. That's SiriusXM Channel 91.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Zach Crawford with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and make sure to remember that all games, times, and schedules are subject to change, so check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, there's only one playoff game on the schedule for today, and at 7 p.m., the Winnipeg Jets will host the St. Louis Blues. You can listen to the Jets on SiriusXM, Channel 91, Internet 951, and you can listen to the Blues on Internet 944. For more NHL news and updates, make sure to check out SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 for 24/7 hockey coverage throughout the season and from all around the hockey world. I'm Zach Crawford with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and make sure to remember that all games, times, and schedules are subject to change, so check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, there's only one playoff game on the schedule for today, and at 7 p.m., the Winnipeg Jets will host the St. Louis Blues. You can listen to the Jets on SiriusXM, Channel 91, Internet 951, and you can listen to the Blues on Internet 944. For more NHL news and updates, make sure to check out SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 for 24/7 hockey coverage throughout the season and from all around the hockey world. I'm Zach Crawford with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and make sure to remember that all games, times, and schedules are subject to change, so check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, there's only one playoff game on the schedule for today, and at 7 p.m., the Winnipeg Jets will host the St. Louis Blues. You can listen to the Jets on SiriusXM, Channel 91, Internet 951, and you can listen to the Blues on Internet 944. For more NHL news and updates, make sure to check out SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 for 24/7 hockey coverage throughout the season and from all around the hockey world.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is the place for expert advice, strategy, and information from the best fantasy sports analysis to win your league. Plus, hear pick-by-pick coverage of live drafts and interviews with top players, coaches, and team executives on SiriusXM 87.
Former Buffalo Sabres head coach Don Granato was on the morning skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio Channel 91 to talk about how different today's athletes are, as well as what it's been like to watch Austin Matthews grow.
It's really a switch in the last 10 years. The first birth year I had at the national team program was 95 birth year. So it was JT Compher, Tyler Mott, that group. You have them for 2 years, so the next birth year coming in was the 97s, which was prolific. It was Austin Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk and McAvoy and Hanifin, Werenski. And I remember talking to the coaches back then that this birth year is way different than the 95 birth year. And this summer, ironically, I picked up a book that titled The Anxious Generation. And I thought it was very well documented. And the author used the iPhone. And the iPhone came out in 2008 or 6, somewhere in that range. But social media didn't hit hard on the iPhone where you could rate a kid's looks if you're a high school student. And so judging other people on a social media app on the iPhone was about 2013. And so now you think about all these kids going to high school, and we never had this. They could be made fun of on social media. They don't even know it, and they're walking out of a classroom and people are laughing. Yeah. So it's a different world we all live in because we're all criticized and compared to more and faster. And with that, you need to balance that with support. And I think, lots of coaches that have gone that I watch around the league in the NHL, there's a lot of great coaches and a lot of good young coaches that are really good at that. The X's and O's, I say to people, are easy now. When the X's and O's are a very simple part of hockey. It's connecting with people and getting people motivated and excited. And that's changed dramatically. X's and O's became big when video hit the computer. You could watch 100 or 1,000 forechecks over and over and over and say, okay, these are the key components on a forecheck. And so, you didn't have to be in the NHL to become better at that. So that's the easy part. I just can't imagine doing this or that I did it. I called Brian Matthews one time in Austin's U17 year. And I said, Brian, do you have any idea how good your son is? And his reply was no. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you? What is this conversation? And I had to explain to him. And I said, I think this is what's going to happen to Austin. I said, you honestly have to prepare for your life to become very chaotic and crazy. And lo and behold, he gets drafted in Toronto instead of some different market. And we know how crazy it can be here.
Oh yeah.
But and then the last thing I'll say on it is I remember leading up to the draft, lots of people said, can he handle Toronto? And I thought, absolutely, no problem. And the biggest thing for me is when a young player comes in the league, and we talked about it earlier, if they're a -2 or 3 and they have a really tough night, you get to know how they're going to respond. And some that breaks their confidence, and maybe they need a stint in the AHL. You got to get them out of the pressure. But Austin was so good that if that happened, and when it's happened in his career, it doesn't hurt his confidence. He knows that he's in that category of player that I know I can redeem myself just get me to the next game now. And they can do, the best players can do that. And that's a different echelon of player at the NHL level that can do that. So if you look at the top players in the NHL, their confidence is not going to break. The guys right under that, they have a bad night. They may not want that next game.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
I'm Zach Crawford with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and make sure to remember that all games, times, and schedules are subject to change, so check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, there's only one playoff game on the schedule for today, and at 7 p.m., the Winnipeg Jets will host the St. Louis Blues. You can listen to the Jets on SiriusXM, Channel 91, Internet 951, and you can listen to the Blues on Internet 944. For more NHL news and updates, make sure to check out SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 for 24/7 hockey coverage throughout the season and from all around the hockey world. I'm Zach Crawford with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and make sure to remember that all games, times, and schedules are subject to change, so check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, there's only one playoff game on the schedule for today, and at 7 p.m., the Winnipeg Jets will host the St. Louis Blues. You can listen to the Jets on SiriusXM, Channel 91, Internet 951, and you can listen to the Blues on Internet 944. For more NHL news and updates, make sure to check out SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 for 24/7 hockey coverage throughout the season and from all around the hockey world. I'm Zach Crawford with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Sunday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and make sure to remember that all games, times, and schedules.
What if I open my soul? Here I stand by myself on my own. What if I lose all control and take a step out into the unknown? Oh, oh, oh. What do I know? What's going on now? Is this another breakdown? You and me, should I let go? I do really want to know what's going on now. Is this another breakdown? You and me, should I say so? We're just putting on a show. Oh, oh, oh. What do I know? I need to open my eyes and get a touch of that reality. Don't want another surprise. I'd rather want you to just let me be. Oh, oh, oh. What do I know? What's going on now? Is this another breakdown? You and me, should I let go? I do really want to know what's going on now. Is this another breakdown? You and me, should I say so? We're just putting on a show.
Thanks to watching another NHL playoff series 2024-2025. We present the game between the St. Louis Blues and the Winnipeg Jets. The final score 4-3 Jets in overtime, second overtime. The final first round is over. We're going to start tomorrow, the second round. We're going to give you the bilan of the Montreal Canadiens at some point during the week. Until then, my friend, we want to thank Moderator, Super Chat, and all the people click on the likes tonight. And I can't wait to see you until the next time. The only reason and the only one the channel grow is because all of you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. That's all, my friend. I can't wait to see you tomorrow night. And we'll see what happening for round number 2. Going to get our prediction tomorrow night also. Until then, be well, be healthy. Find a way not only dominate your day, but find a way to dominate the first half of what? Your 2025. The Hockey Nation Show and the Ab Nation want to tell you one more thing. We love you, friends. Have a great night, everybody. I will see you tomorrow night. Thanks to join us tonight. I apologize for the delay of tonight. I need a break. Good night, everybody. And like we do at the end, you don't see, but I'm going to scream, booyah! Good night, everybody.